How is everybody doing? Welcome to the 4th annual Cambodian Town Film Festival. And thank you for doing this 4 years. And I would like to thank you guys for coming out on a busy Saturday. Actually, it's a labor weekend too. And thank you so much for coming out and support us. ខ្ញុំបានឈ្មោះនេះទីខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណបងប្អូនប្រិយមិត្តដែលបានអញ្ជើញមកចូលរួមកម្មវិធីលើកទី4នៃមហាស្តុបភាពយន្តទីក្រុងឡុងបិកនេះដែរបាទហើយបន្តពីនេះទៀតខ្ញុំសូមអញ្ជើញ Christine Sue សូមអញ្ជើញឡើងលើវេទិកា Please welcome Mrs. Christine Sue.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 4th annual Cambodia Town Film Festival. It's so wonderful to be here in Long Beach. I flew down from San Francisco, and for me, this weather is very hot. But I guess for you guys, it's not so hot. But it's wonderful to be here. This weekend, CTFF lineup is inspiring, poignant, creative, and I can't wait to get started. So I won't speak very long, but I do want to offer just a few remarks to set the tone for the festival. Each year at CTFF, I pretty much sit in this dark theater for 8 to 10 hours a day, and I emerge with my body just teeming with emotions, with joy, with anger, with astonishment, with disappointment, with sorrow, and with inspiration. By the time I leave this building at the end of the festival, my mind is also teeming with wonder at the concepts, the narratives, and the talent both in front of the screen and behind the camera that I've seen develop on the screen before me. And all I had to do was sit back and watch. So in considering how I could frame my remarks for this weekend's CTFF, I was drawn to the following Khmer proverb. And next slide. And those of you who can read Khmer will recognize this. And like many proverbs in other languages, you can interpret them in a number of ways, and it's almost impossible to transliterate directly or to translate directly. But one interpretation, and the one I'm going to use to frame my remarks here in English, would be something to the effect of, it's okay to be lacking in anything as long as you're not lacking in ideas or dreams. And Cambodian communities, whether in Cambodia, in the United States, in Australia, in Thailand, wherever they are in the world, while they may not emerge as the richest people in the world, they are, as the CTFF demonstrates, some of the richest in terms of ideas and dreams. And yet all of us know that creating works of art is no small feat. Each of the films you'll see today, even those that are only a few minutes long, are the result of months or sometimes years of work. Even those that are marketed as shorts. There are countless hours of casting, costuming, directing, and shooting, and editing. Tomorrow afternoon, you're going to see the dancers of the Khmer Arts Academy perform, and you'll be able to tell by the elegance of their expressions, the strength of their limbs, and the discipline of their movements that the graceful performances we see, that they make look so effortless, are the result of years of dedication and practice. The arts are truly a labor of love. In the Cambodian context, it's perhaps even more a labor of love than many of us realize. During the Khmer Rouge regime of the 1970s, artists were among those specifically targeted for execution. While all Cambodians suffered under the regime, there was a deliberate effort to eliminate the artists, the dancers, the musicians, the painters, the sculptors, the filmmakers, anyone who encouraged others to create, to give life to those ideas. If you were here for last year's CTFF, you may have had the opportunity to view a wonderful film called The Last Reel, which speaks to this crushing of ideas and the effects of doing so on many levels. Next slide. For those of you who may not have been there, or just to recap, The Last Reel tells the story of a young woman in Phnom Penh who's a university student by day and a karaoke bar singer by night. One evening, as she's walking home from the bar, she happens upon a dilapidated cinema in which there's an old man. He's sitting among broken equipment and faded posters, longing for his life before the Khmer Rouge, when he was a filmmaker. While initially annoyed by the young lady's presence, he eventually tells her about the last film he was making before the Khmer Rouge took over, and fascinated by the story, she stays and watches several of its reels. She comes to realize that it's her own mother who is the star of the film, a beautiful actress who is the polar opposite of the fragile, spiritless woman she knows. The last reel, the old man explains, is missing. You can't watch it. In reality, he has hidden it, as the ending of that film represents a past you cannot recapture. While there isn't time to explore or analyze the film in its entirety, you'll have to watch it. What stuck with me is that ultimately the young woman helps the filmmaker to reshoot the last reel, starring herself as the lead actress, but not alone. Her mother joins her and, in a sense, becomes the actress she once was. The last reel resonated really strongly with our Cambodian community members and doesn't stay long after the film ended to talk about it. Members of the older generation recognize the physical, social, and emotional destruction caused by the Khmer Rouge. Younger generations grasped the anguish arising from the young woman's lack of connection with her parents, coexistent with the deep yearning to understand them, her desire to acknowledge the painful past, yet also to offer the possibility of healing by creating an alternative ending to the story. Art can indeed have the power to heal. Next slide. This is a quote from Soto Kolika, who is the director of The Last Reel. The last reel portrays my belief in the overwhelming human need for stories, and storytelling as part of the reconciliation process towards restoring a country and a culture that was devastated by genocide and war. It takes courage to open our hearts and minds and to relive what has gone before. Next slide. To that point about revisiting the past and using art as a medium for healing, I just want to go briefly over Van Nat. And some of you may be familiar with him and his work. Van Nat was a painter. He was born in Battambang in 1946. He became an artist at a young age and spent most of his time painting landscapes, billboards, and posters for the cinema in Battambang. But like many of us, many of our family members and many of our friends, he was sent to the countryside by the Khmer Rouge in 1975 after they seized power. While he was a farmer under the Khmer Rouge, in 1978 he was arrested for, quote, violating the moral code, even though he had no relation to politics whatsoever. He was sent to Tuol Sleng, the former Phnom Penh high school that was turned into a prison and torture center under the administration of Doit, who even from his prison cell in Phnom Penh today looms large, even at the CTFF, as you will see. At Tuol Sleng, known by its code name of S21, Van Nat thought for sure he was to be executed, like so many others around him. Indeed, he was tortured and questioned about his affiliations with anti-Khmer Rouge individuals and groups, despite the fact that he had never been involved in politics of any kind. One day, when guards entered his cell and asked for the painter, he thought for sure he was being led to his death. Instead, he was asked if he could paint a portrait of Pol Pot. Under the watchful eyes of guards and sometimes of Doit himself, he ended up painting endless portraits of Pol Pot, from sunrise to midnight, he said in an interview. Every brushstroke, he said, you were just hoping they would like it and then they'd let you live another day. While he was at Tuol Sleng, he could only paint portraits of Pol Pot, but he recorded in his mind a visual memoir of what he witnessed there. Van Nat was one of only 7 individuals known to survive Tuol Sleng out of more than 15,000 who entered. And in the greater context, Van Nat, like many of us, our families and our friends, was one of only thousands to survive out of millions who were killed under the Khmer Rouge regime. After the fall of the Khmer Rouge regime, as part of his own healing process, Van Nat began to paint what he had seen. In an interview, he stated, "What I saw while I was in that prison was those people who used to scream for help, but I could not help them. But now, I would like their souls to get something from what I paint." And indeed, throughout the 1980s, after the fall of the Khmer Rouge, he painted hundreds of paintings about the Khmer Rouge era. Most of them are extremely graphic, so I won't show them today, but here's just one. Go back. Okay. Still, even though he was quite traumatized by his time at Tuol Sleng and afterward, he did find some moments of peace. As you see in this painting here, he painted a portrait of when he was a young boy in Battambang. Art does have the power to heal. And yet, even though he came to his own healing, he continued to feel a great burden of responsibility to tell the stories of those who had died. Indeed, beginning in 2000, he decided he was going to testify at the Khmer Rouge Tribunal. Next slide. Even though he was an old man and quite frail, beginning in 2009, he testified at the trial of Doik, who was the torturer at Tuol Sleng. In July 2010, Doik was convicted of war crimes, but he was only sentenced to 19 years, despite the fact that under his administration, more than 15,000 people had died at Tuol Sleng. Unfortunately, in September 2011, Van Nat passed away in Phnom Penh and did not get to see his torturer brought to justice. However, in February 2012, Doik's conviction was increased to prison for life. Okay, next slide. Up until the time of his death, Van Nat felt a great responsibility to use his art to tell the stories of the Khmer people, not only his own story, but those he wasn't able to help while he was in Tuol Sleng. And I think here at CTFF, we bear that responsibility as well. And that's one of the great reasons, or the great things about having the CTFF, is that it provides a forum to tell these stories. Oftentimes we can't talk about them in everyday conversation, but we can show them through our art. All of us, whether we're community leaders, politicians, teachers, and yes, artists, bear this responsibility to the past, to delve into it, to confront it, and to move beyond it. Next slide. One of the films that you're going to see during the CTFF is called Camp 32, and it's by a Khmer survivor who lives in Australia. And one of the things he says in his film is, I am going back to the past, but I'm going back to the past in search of my own future. And I think that really defines a lot of what we're going to be seeing this weekend. Last slide. Okay, I will close with just one last story. I think a lot of us have a picture like this of people when we're young and we're at the university and we're just enjoying life. And I just want to call your attention to this group of students here. Back in 1995, I was living in Hawaii, and we had a group of students who were archaeologists from the Royal University of Fine Arts, which you see in the background here, come to study in Hawaii for a special archaeology program. They were all quite young and quite timid. And the one right in the middle here, his name was Sovat, and that's also him in the larger picture there. And he came to Hawaii at the age of, I think, 18. He'd never been on a train, he'd never been on a plane before, and he was quite shy. He and I were doing our work at the same time. And eventually, he became the rector of the University of Fine Arts, which is the position he has today, quite high there. And even though he is now Ayadong, every time I go to Cambodia, he makes time to see me. And I always joke with him and I say, hello, Dr. Bong, and he says, hello, Dr. Su, and then we laugh about it because we used to ride the bus together and also cook in the same dormitory. And the last time I was there, he asked me, he said, does it surprise you that someone like me, a poor orphan boy from the countryside, is now the rector of the university? I said, no, it doesn't, because I always knew that no matter how little you had in terms of material wealth, you always had great, big ideas. Okay, next slide. Okay, so thank you. I just want to welcome you all again to the festival. Please enjoy all of the wonderful films that are there, and I hope to see you throughout the weekend. Okay.
Thank you, Christine.
Hello. Good morning. How you guys feeling today?
Excited!
Excited? Who said that? Hey. Can't see. I'm excited too. Oh, my name is Pratch. I am the co-founder and co-director of the Cambodia Town Film Festival. Christine, Dr. Christine. I keep on calling her Christine, but she's a doctor. So, Dr. Christine Su, she's a great committee member, and I know you can't stay here long, so can you come up here real quick? We have an award for you from the senator and also from the assembled member. So, here you go. And on top of that, like, she goes above and beyond for Cambodia Town Film Festival. So we only selected a few handful because there are like 34 members of the film festival committee. but we only selected about 4 members this year to give this award to. So Christine has been selected as a above and beyond committee member. So we specifically made this for you. Thank you. Thank you and enjoy the movie Camp 32 and stay for the Q&A. Stay for the Q&A.
សូមស្វាគមន៍មកក្រុមហ៊ុន All State ជំរាបសួរនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះនេរ៉ាធី All State ជាក្រុមហ៊ុនធានារ៉ាប់រងដ៏ធំមួយនៅក្នុងសហរដ្ឋអាមេរិកយើងធានារ៉ាប់រងផ្ទះឡានម៉ូតូក្រុមហ៊ុននិងជីវិតហើយក៏ជួយសន្សំប្រាក់ដើម្បីចូលនិវត្តន៍ឬសម្រាប់អ្វីផ្សេងទៀតមិនតែប៉ុណ្ណោះនាងខ្ញុំក៏អាចជួយលក់ផ្ទះទិញផ្ទះជូនបងប្អូនដែរនាងខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍ជាច្រើនឆ្នាំមកហើយក៏មានការជួយបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងជាច្រើនមកដែរប្រសិនបើលោកអ្នកមានចម្ងល់ពីប្រការណាមួយសូមអញ្ជើញទូរស័ព្ទនាងខ្ញុំតាមលេខ562 699 7858សូមកុំភ្លេចទូរស័ព្ទលេខ562 699 7858លោកអ្នកនឹងបានទទួលនៅក្តីពេញចិត្តជំរាបលា
ជំរាបសួរអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នានាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះចានីមកពីក្រុមហ៊ុនលក់ផ្ទះទិញផ្ទះនាងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញខាងជួយរៀបចំក្រាស់ស្នាមទិញផ្ទះលក់ផ្ទះនេះជាងរយៈពេល8ឆ្នាំមកហើយជាមួយគ្នានោះដែរនាងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញជួយរៀបចំក្រាស់ស្នាមឲ្យបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងដែលគាត់មានចំណូល income បន្តិចបន្តួចដែលគាត់មាន credit មិនសូវល្អនិងដែលគាត់មានលុយដើមតិចតួចអញ្ចឹងនាងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញខាងជួយរៀបចំក្រាស់ស្នាមនោះឲ្យបងប្អូនមានលទ្ធភាពអាចទិញផ្ទះដែរអញ្ចឹងនៅក្នុងនោះដែរបើសិនជាបងប្អូនមានចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍ឬមួយមានសំណួរដែលតាក់ទិននៅក្នុងការរៀបចំក្រាស់ស្នាមទិញផ្ទះលក់ផ្ទះនេះអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាអាចតាក់ទងនាងខ្ញុំផ្ទាល់ដែលក្នុងនោះដែរនាងខ្ញុំមានoffice នៅចំកណ្ដាល Cambodia Town យើងនេះអញ្ចឹងនាងខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណនិងសង្ឃឹមថានឹងទទួលបានសំណួរតាក់ទិនក្នុងការរៀបចំក្រាស់ស្នាមទិញផ្ទះលក់ផ្ទះនេះពីបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងដែលគាត់មានការគាំទ្រនាងខ្ញុំពីមុនមកនិងអ្នកដែលមិនទាន់គាំទ្រនាងខ្ញុំនៅឡើយអញ្ចឹងនាងខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណច្រើនសូមជម្រាបលា
When the Khmer's took over Cambodia, they moved people out of the city into the countryside. We were moved to an area called Camp 32. Here we were beaten to death, we were starved, we were overworked. I believe that there's at least 30,000 people who were murdered there. And there's no record of it, so I want to find out.
I now realize that we, the victims, do not need to run anymore. It is their turn to run.
I'm very grateful to have the filmmakers here with us today. Let's invite David. David, will you please come up? David is the director of the first short film that you guys saw earlier, which was called Tour Guides. So have a seat. And then I would like to invite Andrew, who is the director of Camp 32. And as part of this Q&A, we really wanted to take a new and different approach to how we have this conversation. So I reached out to Laura McMillan, who is the director of the May Center. Laura, can I get you up here with us? Oh, there you are. Can I get a second microphone, please? And then Laura, as we're having this conversation, I said, Laura, I have this really great film. You need to watch it. It's exactly what we've been talking about. Have a seat, Laura. It's exactly what we've been talking about. Your work is about healing, healing in the community. And when I met Tom in Cambodia, I met Tom in Cambodia in December of last year, and he came up to me and he said, Kaylee, I have a movie. I really want you to watch it, and I really want to be a part of your film festival. So could you give it a look? And I said, yeah, mate, sure. So that's how it happened. And then when I thought of who to have this conversation with, I thought Laura would be good. So why don't we start off by asking a few questions. You wanted to introduce another member that's going to come up here too, correct?
Yes. I want to introduce, is this on? I want to introduce to you someone who is very well versed in this area with working with survivors of wars and refugees, Dr. Michael Holyfield. He's the current director. Come on up, Michael. He's the current director at the VA Center for the program of trauma and stress relief, and he's also on the board for May Center. Now, the May Center focuses on cultivating survivors' self-healing, and we have programs to go through, similar journey that Lupu Chun is going through that you have just seen in the documentary. Many of the Cambodian survivors here, they have similar stories and they're in similar journey, but they're at different stages. So at what point are you ready to face what you have gone through? And it's a build-up, it's a cultivation. So the May Center, it's about cultivating self-healing. And I was very pleased that you invited me here for the Q&A because I am the child of the generation that lost their childhood. And I am the generation whereby I couldn't understand why my parents were going through those PTSD, the symptoms of trauma, and I couldn't understand why I became the subject of those symptoms, the abuse, the neglect, and all these things I couldn't understand. And really this documentary gives me a closure in a way that I get to experience my parents when they were going through the genocide as children. And for me, it has been a 20-year journey to know my parents. When I ask questions when my parents couldn't even answer those questions because they're too traumatized to talk about it. So this documentary was very intimate for me, and I'm so grateful that you invited me here.
Let's start off by asking actually David, David, because you had this short film, Tour Guides, and we're going to talk about that a little bit because I kind of want to know a little bit about the inspiration behind that. Not only that, but the children step on minefields at the end. And I thought it was a good pairing because I think that is a reflection of how the country itself is kind of still healing and there's still leftover minds out there. So could you just talk a little bit about why you decided to make a film about tour guides and that ending?
Hi, so first of all, it feels a little silly for me to talk about my little film after such a powerful film that this man made. And the subject matter, feels really connected to me too, and part of the reason why I realized after a long time thinking about Cambodia and writing stories for Cambodia, I realized that I feel very connected partially because of my own family lineage in the European Holocaust, and watching the man retrace his steps, something that my grandmother never did, and but I could really imagine it through her eyes in a similar way. Anyway, so that was really interesting for me to see. In terms of the little story tour guides, it's based on a feature film that I wrote after visiting Cambodia and falling in love with that little village, the floating village. And I asked my tour guide at the time, what are the biggest social challenges facing that village? And he said that the kids can't go to high school because it's 2 hours away, and they have to stay home and support their families. And so initially the feature film was about kids who do everything they can to go to high school, including hustling tourists at local temples to save money. And so that's how this snippet, sort of day in the life, came out of that. And all the stories that I accumulated from asking people and talking to various tour guides and locals about brushes with minds and the interaction between tourists and the locals is how I was born.
So now I'll just introduce Andrew over here, who's the director of Camp 32. Tell us, like, so just tell us a little bit about kind of like the journey to making it. Like, why did you decide that this would be the story you wanted to tell as your first feature? I understand it's your first feature.
Yeah, first feature.
And you're also a professor, right?
I'm a lecturer at the university.
Yeah. All right, so talk.
Okay, so I just wanted to say thank you for the wonderful reception to the film. It was wonderful, thank you. And I also wish that Hom could have been here. You would love to meet Hom. He's just so charismatic, isn't he? So it was really, so Tim, the other director of the film, who I'm sorry couldn't be here either, he and I were working on a project. We still do sometimes do documentaries for universities, and we needed a new sound person, and Hom was recommended by somebody who, because Hom had done sound before. He worked for SBS television in Cambodia, as well as doing work in Australia. So yeah, we just kind of got him on board as a crew person, and then just during lunch break and that sort of thing, he would talk about what happened to him as a child. And he also had this idea he wanted to make a documentary, but was focused on his mother. And we had, and then after, lots of discussions, Tim and I would say, like, oh, it's not about, we think the documentary is about him, and we had to convince him to make the documentary about him, because he really didn't want to be the focus of it. But for us, it was just such this story of this child that lost his childhood. He was taken away from his parents. He had such a terrible time, and then to be such an upbeat person after all of that happening to him. But then, as we started to delve into it more, we found he had a lot of demons there as well. So, yeah.
ហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំមានលក់គ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់ម៉ូដថ្មីៗទាន់សម័យដូចជាខ្សែកខ្សែដៃក្រវិលចិញ្ចៀននិងបន្តោងជាពិសេសខ្សែកមាសមកពីអ៊ីតាលីនិងសិង្ហបុរីហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំមានទទួលទិញចូលមាស 14K 18K 24K មានទទួលធ្វើនិងជួសជុលនៅគ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់មុខបានរហ័សទាន់ចិត្តហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំបានបើកបម្រើអស់លោកជាច្រើនឆ្នាំមកហើយធានាគុណភាពល្អនិងស្វាគមន៍អស់លោកជាប់ជានិច្ចហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំស្ថិតនៅលើផ្លូវ9200 Boza Avenue បន្ទប់លេខ212នៅ Westminster California ទូរស័ព្ទលេខ714 891 0500 ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំនៅក្នុង Agent Garden Mall ជាន់ទី2ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំសម្រាប់នៅថ្ងៃពុធហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណអស់លោកទុកជាមុនសូមអរគុណ
ជំរាបសួរខ្ញុំបាទឈ្មោះ Jimmy ជាអ្នកគ្រប់គ្រងក្រុមហ៊ុន Seal Real Estate ព្រមទាំង Pacific Seal Mortgage ខ្ញុំបាទមានការបដិសោធជាង10ឆ្នាំក្នុងការជួយអស់លោកដើម្បីទិញគេហដ្ឋានលក់គេហដ្ឋានព្រមទាំងចៃប្រាក់ដើម្បីទិញផ្ទះរបស់អស់លោកនាយកដ្ឋានប្រាក់កម្ចីផ្ដល់នៅកម្មវិធីខ្ចីលុយដូចជា Conventional Loan FHA VA State Income និង Down Payment Assistance សម្រាប់សហគមន៍ខ្មែរបើសិនណាជាអស់លោកត្រូវការលក់ផ្ទះយើងខ្ញុំមានតម្លៃពិសេសជូនសូមអស់លោកមេត្តាទូរស័ព្ទមកយើងខ្ញុំ714 622 4735សូមអរគុណ
Yeah, a lot of questions actually. It's almost like you're opening up the story of my parents' generation. I came to this country when I was about 10 years old, and I too have lost my memory. During the genocide, I found my mother after she was beaten to near death and left to die. I collapsed. I woke up a different person. I lost my memory. So your film really helps me reconnect and bring back memories and closure. So when you directed the documentary, how did you know which angle to present that is so well integrated together that it focuses on the healing? I know that trauma story for us is the key to healing, and trauma story tells a lot. I mean, it could range from the horrific violence where the viewer, the audience, you're watching all the violence and you're being impacted in the most negative way. And you go home, you can't sleep. But yours, it was so well put together that you're focusing on the healing aspect of homes. When you were directing it, how hard was it to convince home? Which way do we put these clips together?
Well, with documentary, you sort of don't know what you're going to get in the end. You start off with a you write a treatment, as you would do for any other film, how you think things are going to go, and best case scenarios, well, we could never have imagined that we'd ever meet the other kids. That, the taxi driver and the other two, that was that was just the most amazing day of my life. So that been meeting those people were just so wonderful, so... wow, we really, because Tim and I both come from narrative filmmaking backgrounds, and it was always apparent to us to make it like a narrative film, but as a documentary. So tell this story in this way. We always wanted to keep it a positive story if we could, because there were so many documentaries made about Cambodia during the time of the genocide that, that weren't very positive, I suppose. Well, it's not that they were negative, they were just very sad stories. And we do have some very sad stories in there. The story of Vanna, Hom's sister, who was brutally raped, her own story is in actually coming on board for the documentary was really positive for her. So at first she didn't want anything to do with us. She said no, she didn't want to be involved at all. And then we invited her to come along for when Hom's brother was being interviewed. So she was there, she could see the way that we dealt with her and everything, or dealt with him. And then she agreed to be interviewed on camera. And then after that, she felt that she'd just been opened up. She now speaks at schools, she talks about her experiences, it's changed her life incredibly. So that was I thought it was a great, it was a positive thing for us to do for them, to help them, tell their stories. We were also involved before we left, because we didn't want to, I mean, being a filmmaker and documentary filmmaker, sometimes you can go in without really thinking what you're doing, you know, and you know, whilst Tim and I could go back to our lives, you know, after all of this, we didn't want to dig up all of this hurt for people, sort of thing, you know. So we went armed with information from TBO. Do you know TBO? It's transcultural psycho. So what they deal with is people with post-traumatic stress disorder. So, and they have this system, they have a number that you can call, and anybody can call this number, hang up, and they'll call people back. And it helps people through their, you know, their hurting. So, yeah. So we went armed with all of this information, and so if we upset anyone, we felt that we were upsetting anyone, we could get them help along the way.
I've heard this before where survivors actually would be asked to, you know, give it an interview, and initially they would be reluctant. But after going through it, they realize the process itself is a healing process. And Dr. Holyfield could speak more about trauma, storytelling, and, you know, the healing processes of that.
Thank you. And I was really curious also how the movie developed for that. I've been fortunate and honored for about 20 years to be working with refugee and veteran war survivors. And again, what amazed me about this movie is how it patterned on to what we kind of know scientifically and what we do about treatment. Knowing that, and you know, Holmes said it a few times, I just want to look here, you know, I came to put my story together. I lost my identity, I lost myself. And in that one that's in the clip too, in the trailer, and this famous one is, you know, I went back to my past in search of my own future. What people do with trauma is usually rationally think that they want to avoid it. And we know that avoidance of it, which again feels rational, and I give honor to the resilience, as we also saw in this film, the resilience, yes, I give honor to that, but it seems rational to want to avoid all of those memories and feelings and thoughts, but what it does is it then makes people, without the memory that links together, it makes people just spin. Like his mom said, I just think too much. I have way too many thoughts. And so, kind of an act against nature, what Holm did, and I'm kind of curious your comments about this, is he kind of knew in a sense that he was fractured. And at the time of trauma, that's exactly what happens to people, is they become fractured. And I can go on and on about all the biology of it, you don't want to hear it. But the autonomic system, the hypothalamus pituitary axis, and other things, the inflammatory system are fractured, and they're not working right. So what people really feel is, I am not whole. I am not one thing. I am not working together well. And he gave word to that. So I'm kind of curious about if you knew going in that's what was going to happen, that he was going to be able to tell the story to kind of bring himself back together and gain his identity, or what the organic process was there. Very interesting.
I think for Holm, it's an ongoing process. It's something that he still does today, even though, you know, at the end of the film, you know, he wraps it up really nicely and says that, but it's still ongoing for him. And I think that's like with anybody, you know, about healing process. You get to a level where you're great, you know, it's good, and I've been able to, you know, find out more about myself on this journey, but you continue to heal yourself as you go, and that's what Holm's doing now, you know. And I think it's also come from, so he talks, he also does talks at schools and that sort of thing as well about his experiences and to other people, and I think that also really helps him, you know, get it out there. So when we went in there, he was a bit of an unknown, you know, because we kind of forced him into, well, not but coerced him into being the face of the documentary, you know. And so it was fortunate that he had some experience in film before, working in film and TV before, so he kind of knew what to expect, I suppose. But we we had a really great working relationship. So we worked as a team incredibly well. And beforehand, we researched and researched and researched. So, and that's what you have to do. I mean, look, we had over 80 hours of footage. We only used 1 hour and a bit. So yeah.
One last comment that also speaks then to the authenticity and the trust that is so important in trauma healing that, knowingly or not, you develop in order to have people do this. And it was very interesting to see Tom develop that with the other 3 men.
Yes.
When they met, like, they would go, no way, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm not going there.
Yeah.
And then, because it was that same thing, like, I know I'm split, but I want to avoid it. But he did the same thing.
Yeah.
The movie did with Tom.
Yeah.
He did with those 3.
Well, the night that we met the taxi driver, and then we went out to the Mahasal Beer Club, and the other 2 just came out of thin air, and we'd been drinking really heavily, the crew. And so that's why the footage doesn't look very good there, sorry about that. But I remember saying to Tim, the other director, we have to do everything that these guys do. We have to drink what they drink, we have to smoke what they smoke, we have to do everything that they do, because we need them to come to Camp 32. Because Hom was the youngest of the group, and he had memories, but he had no one to verify his memories. And that's why it was so important that we had the others to come along. And the oldest one, Sakul, he was really reluctant. He didn't want to go back there. In fact, he didn't want to take us to Hom's father's grave, because that's near the area of where Camp 32 is, and he won't even drive his car past there, So it was a really big deal for him to say yes, to come along. And they've all benefited from it now, They've all, I don't know, we've seen them quite a few times since, and we're in touch on Facebook and so on. And so they've all really developed from going out to Camp 32. And I've got to tell you that the sight of the tree, I knew it was the tree, because everyone had been talking about that tree. It was like another character in the film, the tree. Yeah.
Real quick before we open for the audience question, I just want to add a comment to that. For a lot of survivors, when they've gone through something so horrific, they are aware their life has been fractured. And it is the environment of creating a safe space, the authenticity in it, that actually assists them in the process of healing. As a director at the May Center, where people are coming in with so many stories, and it's just, they're in a process of healing, you just have to create that environment for them to open up. And you did that, the film did that. I'm so grateful for it.
ជំរាបសួរនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះ Dr. Christina Lee នាងខ្ញុំជាវេជ្ជបណ្ឌិតខ្មែរមួយរូបដែលមានការដោតពិសោធន៍ក្នុងការព្យាបាលជំងឺទូទៅប្រចាំគ្រួសារអស់រយៈពេលជាង20ឆ្នាំមកហើយចាឥឡូវនេះខ្ញុំបានមកបើក clinic នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach ការស្ទាត់ជំនាញរបស់ខ្ញុំគឺព្យាបាលជំងឺគ្រប់វ័យពីកូនងាដល់មនុស្សចាស់ទាំងប្រុសទាំងស្រីកន្លែងយើងខ្ញុំស្អាតមានប្រដាប់ប្រដាទំនើបព្រមទាំងមានកន្លែងក្មេងលេងផងយើងខ្ញុំទទួលយក insurance គ្រប់មុខដូចជា Medical, Medicare និង HMOs នាងខ្ញុំសូមស្វាគមន៍និងរងចាំទទួលលោកនិងលោកស្រីនិងបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាគ្រប់ពេលវេលាពីថ្ងៃច័ន្ទរហូតដល់ថ្ងៃសុក្រពីម៉ោង 9 ដល់ម៉ោង 5 សូមតាក់ទងនឹងលេខទូរស័ព្ទ 562 591 68 90 ហើយអាសយដ្ឋានរបស់យើងខ្ញុំគឺ817 Atlantic Avenue នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach យើងខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណហើយសូមជម្រាបលា
តើលោកអ្នកត្រូវការមេធាវីឬតើក្រដាសស្នាមបន្តប្រវេសរបស់លោកអ្នកត្រូវបានគេច្រានចោលឬអ្នកកំពុងមានបញ្ហាក្នុងការធានាគ្រួសារប្តីប្រពន្ធឬគូដណ្ដឹងការិយាល័យមេធាវីវេត្រាតានអាចជួយលោកអ្នកបានយើងខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍បម្រើសហគមន៍ខ្មែរជាង16ឆ្នាំមកហើយដោយភាពស្មោះត្រង់និងម៉ត់ចត់យើងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញក្នុងការដោះស្រាយករណីពិបាកជាមួយស្ថានទូតអាមេរិកនៅកម្ពុជាយើងទទួលបានភាពជោគជ័យជាច្រើនហើយបើលោកអ្នកមានបញ្ហាខ្សែធនលះលែងគ្នាឬគ្រោះថ្នាក់ដួលរបួសដែលត្រូវការមេធាវីដោះស្រាយទំនាក់ទំនងយើងឥឡូវនេះដើម្បីទទួលបានការប្រឹក្សាដោយឥតគិតថ្លៃទូរស័ព្ទឥឡូវនេះ562 218 2400
So now we're going to open for the... Did you want to make comments?
Yeah, this goes to my point was really remarkable. And doing that for those people.
Yes.
I know it's making a film, but that's really did really well.
It was really more about Hom's family trusting us. So Hom had agreed to be in the film, and then he had a birthday party for his daughter that we got invited to, and the whole family were there, all the extended family. And I think that was the test. If we were, and our partners came as well, sort of thing, and if we, had been approved by the family, then it was okay. So, and we were. So, but we felt really at ease with them. Hom's like, he's one of my best mates. Yeah. So, yeah.
Let's open questions from the audience. I know you guys are eager. Anyone?
Skylar, could you come up just a second? You want to ask the first question? Okay, go ahead.
The question is for the director, Togas. I had an opportunity to go in 2011 for the first time back to Cambodia since leaving the refugee camp. And I was born in a refugee camp, and when I went back, and I'm an educator, and I'm very pro-education. So when I was on my journey back to Cambodia, and I observed kids mostly because I wanted to see what they were doing. Why were they out there selling sunglasses and such? And for you, your perspective was, from your perspective, you focused on the kids who did Kodak. I had an opportunity to speak to the kids, and I asked them, well, why aren't you in school? And they said, well, we need to make money so we can survive. I said, okay, when do you go to school? They said, well, at night. And I asked them for how long. They said, about an hour. Like an hour in education, an hour of education for someone about 13 or 14 years old. I mean, how much are they really getting to learn, working and learn about? And all they know is I just need to survive. So I just want to see, from your perspective, like why did the tour guide kids inspire you, and why did you pick them?
Simply put, I was a tourist. I mean, when I first went, so they were my first point of contact, and they were my entree into the locals and the community surrounding that tourist industry. And so I'm not going to pretend like I know more than that. Well, that's basically it. So that was my entry into the community. Does that answer your question?
But I also kind of want to know what about them inspired you to make your
Well, something's not right. You can feel it. Something's not right. They obviously shouldn't be doing that. You want to give them money. You're told not to, and it's for any empathic person. You want to know more about their lives and what's driving them. So I think that's it.
Do you have another question? Skylar, can you go give this gentleman in the middle right there to raise his hand? The mic, watch him.
Hello. Hi, I work with an organization called Come On Girls in Action here in Long Beach. I'm one of the coordinators for a young program who deals with this kind of stuff with like folks, in particular like high school students who deal with second generational trauma and PTSD. And I'm also an inspired filmmaker. And so my question is understanding, because I've been in so much contact with folks who have issues telling their stories, including my own family. And like, how do you approach, and I know that part of it is talking about creating safe space, and we definitely do that in our programs, things like that. It's to do that, but like when you're out in the field with a bunch of random folks, in another country, how do you initiate that conversation? Like, what is the biggest challenge, and what is the biggest learning lesson from that? I guess it's for the Camp 32 filmmaker.
Well, we were extremely well planned. We knew what questions to ask. So we were rewriting our script you know, almost daily when we actually found a taxi driver. So we had to rewrite, well, what are our questions going to be now that we've got 4 of them out there? We had to try and keep them. I mean, when we got there, you could see in the footage, they just all spread out because they all wanted to look at where they were and everywhere, and we kind of finally pulled them together. And then we had a list of questions that we would prompt Hom with. So, and he would start talking about those things. You know, when you make documentary, the thing that I found is, and it's not always that way, but to get the best, I suppose, is to be able to spend a lot of time with your subject. You know, we didn't have a lot of time with the other 3 guys, but we had heaps of time with Hom, so it was about, you know, talking with him, you know, and we really had to direct him at times as well. We had to, because he would get not very emotional as in unhappy, he would get very angry, you know, about things, you know. So we had to also, you know, guide him on that as well, you know. What's making you so angry, you know, what's the emotion within that sort of thing. So, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a good amount of sense. I guess part of it is also understanding, because I think when we walk into work, when we're working with folks dealing with trauma, I think one of my biggest things is we have this ideal that we think is going to happen when we're trying to approach this work, and then also opens up so much more that sometimes we're not even prepared to deal with. How do you deal with that?
Well, the only way that sort of I work is that I have an initial set of questions that I go with, and then it's always, can you elaborate on that? You know, I'll make notes. You were saying something before about so-and-so. Let's go back to that. Now, what were you saying about that? So, you know, we always kind of, you know, trying to get, you know, other responses out of people. So, yeah, it was really, I don't really remember speaking much on the day that we were at Camp 32. Funnily enough, I think it was almost like we were telepathic, particularly Tim and I, the other director. We, you know, I'd been looking over at Tim, who was shooting some of the stuff at one stage, and I could see that he wanted to change lenses, so I'd automatically bring a lens over, and you know, we kind of knew what we were. Yeah, it was a weird day. It was a day I'll never forget, but yeah, it was wonderful.
I want to add something to that. The May Center works with Khmer Girls in Action, and second generation, intergenerational trauma, that's what we're working on and the process of healing it. When I was interacting with my parents, I have to tread the subject very cautiously. And the secret for me to really getting them to open up and share is to learn about their culture. Learn everything about their cultures. I mean, I would actually watch their soap operas and start crying. Instead of going to watching Hollywood, you know, 21st century movies. And you ask questions, but out of respect. And their empathy is so huge and wide and limitless. You just have to be honest to exactly what it is that you're doing. So with my parent, I let them know, you know, I feel lost, and I really want to know about my history. And I have no memories of Cambodia. What was it like for you when you were a kid? So you gently kind of open up that subject. And you have to be a good listener, because if they're pulling back on something, you realize, okay, they're not ready to open that yet. And survivors, they are so empowered. Their self-healing is so strong that they know for themselves when they're ready, when they're not ready. And when you approach home, he was ready. Yeah. You were there, perfect timing. And for the second generation healing, start with a lot of research on your own. Because if your parents can't speak to you, there are so many data, videos, documentaries out there that do as much research as you can. What I did was I researched what it is to genocide the Khmer Rouge. What does that mean? And then my memories came back during my research. Oh my God, I lived in a refugee camp. Oh my God, I was kidnapped. And oh my God, there are these people called the Khmer Rouge who have murdered more than 2 million of my people, and I didn't know about that. I just had amnesia. So, second generation, do a lot of research, connect together. And as the May Center, we focus on the first generation. Now that we're going to the second generation, we're connecting the two together. So those two generations are empowering each other. So their healing processes is cultivating each other. Did you want to say something, Michael?
A philosopher named Michael Polanyi has one of his summative comments about his work is that people know more than they can tell. And there's stuff way deep down in your bones and your muscle memory that you know, but you just can't give word to. It's not conscious. And people that have shared experiences have that same shared memory that is, again, so deep. So when you start, if you do go at it front-wise, right up front, oftentimes people don't know what to say. And you saw that with Home in the movie. As the movie went on, he got to know more and more and more about what was happening. And that's why you didn't have to say anything there, because they had a shared experience. They were just living that shared experience so well, and it came out of their bones and muscles. I don't want to get too medical about this, but there's fascinating information about how our very genetic structure can change with experience. When people have traumatic experiences, have alterations in the way genes code proteins, which explains why third generation from Holocaust survivors, it's like grandkids had memories or feelings, and they were like, we didn't ever see anything about this around them. How would they have those sorts of feelings and thoughts? And a lot of it has to do with what's, again, even passed down in a lineage like this. So, again, I think going at it trustfully and openly, but knowing really is, a lot of folks know a lot, but they can't say it. It's too deep. It's too in the bones and the genes. And so it takes a while to work its way out, like a sliver.
ហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំមានលក់គ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់ម៉ូដថ្មីទាន់សម័យដូចជាខ្សែកខ្សែដៃក្រវិលចិញ្ចៀននិងបន្តោងជាពិសេសខ្សែកមាសមកពីអ៊ីតាលីនិងសិង្ហបុរីហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំមានទទួលទិញចូលមាស 14K 18K 24K មានទទួលធ្វើនិងជួសជុលនៅគ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់មុខបានរហ័សទាន់ចិត្តហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំបានបើកបម្រើអស់លោកជាច្រើនឆ្នាំមកហើយធានាគុណភាពល្អនិងស្វាគមន៍អស់លោកជាប់ជានិច្ចហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំស្ថិតនៅលើផ្លូវ9200 Boza Avenue បន្ទប់លេខ212នៅ Westminster California ទូរស័ព្ទលេខ714 891 0500 ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំនៅក្នុង Agent Garden Mall ជាន់ទី2ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំសម្រាប់នៅថ្ងៃពុធហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណអស់លោកទុកជាមុនសូមអរគុណ
សូមស្វាគមន៍មកក្រុមហ៊ុន Allstate ជំរាបសួរនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះនេរ៉ាធី Allstate ជាក្រុមហ៊ុនធានារ៉ាប់រងដ៏ធំមួយនៅក្នុងសហរដ្ឋអាមេរិកយើងធានារ៉ាប់រងផ្ទះឡានម៉ូតូក្រុមហ៊ុននិងជីវិតហើយក៏ជួយសន្សំប្រាក់ដើម្បីចូលនិវត្តន៍ឬសម្រាប់អ្វីផ្សេងទៀតមិនតែប៉ុណ្ណោះនាងខ្ញុំក៏អាចជួយលក់ផ្ទះទិញផ្ទះជូនបងប្អូនដែរនាងខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍ជាច្រើនឆ្នាំមកហើយក៏មានការជួយបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងជាច្រើនមកដែរប្រសិនបើលោកអ្នកមានចម្ងល់ពីប្រការណាមួយសូមអញ្ជើញទូរស័ព្ទនាងខ្ញុំតាមលេខ562 699 7858សូមកុំភ្លេចទូរស័ព្ទលេខ562 699 7858លោកអ្នកនឹងបានទទួលនៅក្តីពេញចិត្តជម្រាបលា
Thank you. That's all.
Can we get another question? All right. The microphone is behind you.
Hi, my name is Rosalind Khan, and I talked to you yesterday, and I was so inspired by the film and actually getting a chance to go ahead and see it. And first, I wanted to compliment you on just following your intuition. And when you put the world out there, what you want to happen, it's amazing how all these things come to you, and to just trust you in your intuition. I know you also mentioned there was a next step, and I was wondering after finishing this first documentary, where is it that you're going next from here? Because that was just absolutely amazing. What's next?
Well, you know, I'm a filmmaker, so I want to make more films. So the next steps with, so what we'd really like to do is make a feature-length film on the story, but on the animation really. So the backstory of the boys being up, there's so many other stories that we were told about that time when they were kids in the camp. And they really used, you know, their friendship to kind of survive that period. You know, if they didn't have their other mates with them, they wouldn't have survived. So for us, it's a great story for us to tell. We'd really love to tell it. You know, but we're kind of determined to tell it in our own way as well. So, yeah. A narrative, yeah, a narrative film.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
I just wanted to, the gentleman in the white that asked the question before, the thing with, and this is what I say to my students, you need to arm yourself as best you can when you're doing any project. You need to research, and plan everything. Because, you know, if you plan everything and you do all your research, then magic kind of happens, really. So, and that's sort of what happened to us.
Thank you. And I saw these two movies. It's two films. The first one I kind of make up, put things together to make sense. But the second one is spontaneous. It's natural. So I will value the two. It's different. And for Camp 32, when I see on the map, I was there, but not during that Khmer Rouge. I was a happy boy when I was in Cambodia. I happened to be in the United States at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. And looking back into that film, I was myself about 15 or 16 years old on that playing field. And I see that mountain. It must be around Phnom Thap Day. It's close to the railroad. The place where your film is near the Highway 5. It could be around Kok Trom or Swai Chit. And that area is a lot of rice field. And the point is your film is spontaneous, natural, and it has a great point of, I say, okay, healing. I use the word healing too. But I like to the May Center, the point that you say healing. What point that you make up, just say, this is a healing process. I like to hear a little bit in detail. For me, I found a story of a young kid that lost his childhood, the same like your generation. And they try to make up. And when they try to make up, it comes naturally. I can feel it starts with a storytelling. And then you ask a documentary, you just try to keep the most information and put it together. And that make up a flow. And I can see the point when they decide to go to see Camp 32. The same like Special Force try to hit the camp, try to hit, to get the prisoner back. And are you going to go in? Are you ready? Do we have enough equipment to go there and make it happen and take the prisoner back? The same thing, they say, I want to go back. I want to keep that feeling. I want to be myself again. I want to be strong again. And that very important point that the person recover, able to get back. And to me, I think there's a hope there. There's a hope and there's a trust there. And then also the assurance. The assurance, because you the assurance that you make that happen. That's what I can see. it's well made for Camp 32. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to hear from May Center what are the points of healing from that movie. Thank you.
Your question is, from that documentary, what are the elements or key points, healing elements from the film? It is everything that you just described. Just like the person or the military force going in there to rescue someone, in this film, Home is going in there for himself. The prisoner is himself that was locked in the past. As he's going through the journey, he is piecing himself to make himself whole again. So in a trauma story, and there are many stories, you could look at it, they all, when they're hitting a point of, let's say, you can't say like there's a peak of healing, because all of us, we're always healing. But for Home is when you see a deep conviction of who he is. He knows that his life isn't what was given to him by the Khmer Rouge. Whatever conditioning, whatever brainwashing that the Khmer Rouge did to him, throw that away. This journey is about building his future, going forward, and be the person he wants to be. It is that strong conviction in his healing story that I could look at it and say, wow, this documentary can be used in other organizations like the May Center, like My Girls in Action, as a documentary to teach second generations to learn about their parents. Because nowadays, let's say in America, you're looking at neglect and you say, hey, that's child abuse. We're going to take your kids from you. But this is from a perspective of the people who have lost their childhood. My parent would actually look at me and say, I don't know what it means to be a parent. And I don't know what it means to have a childhood. And myself, I was 6, 8 years old. Me too. I don't know too. Okay, let's heal together. So it's everything that you just stated. It was beautiful. You picked it up very well.
Thank you.
So when we get back to Melbourne in late September, the film is actually screening at the Jewish Holocaust Museum. The Jewish community in Melbourne were very supportive of our film, so we really, because I think the story resonates with them, so yeah.
Thank you. I'm healing myself too. I see my old place that I used to walk there. And I went to that mountain because my father, he was working on the railroad, and they tried to get the ballast, they call, like the rock for the railroad. And then I brought food and something that he could take care of himself. And I walked from the Nung Tupaday station to that mountain. It's on the railroad. But this is close to the Highway 5. So I see the beautiful place again. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Let's have 2 more questions. Let's do this wonderful woman down here, and then we'll go back there.
Hi everyone, my name is Danielle Kim. Since I watched the second film of Camp 32, I would like to say thank you, because the film speaks not only for Home and for other people, but for myself. I was exactly that age, just I'm female. And it also helped clarify like who I am, my roots, and when I went back to visit Cambodia in January and December this year, I was able to get closer to my parents and slowly talk to my mom, where I came from. Yes, I have amnesia and all those things, but I realized it's important to truly face those things that I was being disconnected from my parents for 20 years. And now this passion just drives up deeply within me. I just don't know what it is, but I started volunteering, get connected with community, taking action, and I became a specialist in PTSD. So by taking action on that, it helps me to get involved with community and understand so I can help better the community and my own people, and in the long term, hopefully, I can make a huge difference. So I really thank you for making the film.
Let's ask question back there.
Thank you. My name is Murlay. I work for the community to protect and prevent bad shape for the community. And geographically, I don't know where the mountain is. Based on fact, based on the history, I give big credit to the director, to the executive producer who made this film Camp 32. And based on fact, evidently now in 1977, I was around 22 years at the time, and I witnessed a kid around 7 years old that was executed by drowning because that he stole a corn at his backyard. So from there, when I was among the killing field, I decided to rob. That was in 1977, I robbed from the government to get food given to the poor, so I can save the life of the children, I can save the lives of the old people. And they tried to execute me. I had to run away from the region 33 to region 5, which is still in Battenberg. So I give big credit to this film, and I consider myself as healing process. Why? Because I went through their situation, and I was the victim among killing field, and I forgot about it. But I learned that from the past, and I work with the community. I deal with you, whose parents who suffer bad experience from all. Now they have to face with an old culture and a new culture of their new children. So I had to help them do orientation workshop, stay there. We have to accept the fact. We have to accept the reality of the history, of the culture. We have to be strong, keep it on growing. Now, with patience, everything can be done. That's the philosophy that I believe, and I give to the parents who still have trauma from Pol, and especially the parents who their children need to learn something from their parent culture, also have to face with the new culture in America. So I give big credit to this film, and I also give big credit to CTAF who bring this event possible. They give opportunity to the second generation to preserve history, to accept the culture, and be strong. And all of you have my compliments. Thank you.
Lastly, I want to recognize the resiliency of the people and of our country. Every time I encounter the elders, I revere them. I just want to get on the ground, and in our Cambodian culture, I would kneel down on the ground and pray to their feet. Because as we've seen in this film, survivors of such atrocity, they have so much to give back. And often in our society, we push them aside. But really, the secrets is all the wisdom and all the teaching that they have to offer us. And as a child, a Cambodian child, my wisdom and everything in my entire life I owe to my elders, to my parents, to everything they have gone through, but their strength and their resiliency, their courage that they have shown me allows me to do so well in this country. So just like Holmes said, he went back because he wants to know of his parents. He wants to understand his parents and everything that his parents have sacrificed for him to live this life. So really, thank you.
Can I just say something? I just think that, so for the second generation, the advice that I can give to you is find out about your parents' past. Go and search for those stories. There are so many stories out there. And I think that everyone is valid. We've just told one story from one person, basically, but, you know, all the stories are valid. We could have told, you know, a film could have been 5 hours long with all the interview that we had done along the way, but I just implore you to go out and tell your stories. You know, those survivors, please tell your stories, because people need to know that.
All right, that is us. That is it for us for the screening of Camp 32 and tour guides. If you guys want to join us outside, if you have any more questions, I guess maybe you'll stick around and answer them. So again, thank you guys for coming and joining us today.
ជំរាបសួរនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះ Dr. Christina Lee នាងខ្ញុំជាវេជ្ជបណ្ឌិតខ្មែរមួយរូបដែលមានការដោតពិសោធន៍ក្នុងការព្យាបាលជំងឺទូទៅប្រចាំគ្រួសារអស់រយៈពេលជាង20ឆ្នាំមកហើយចាឥឡូវនេះខ្ញុំបានមកបើក clinic នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach ការស្ទាត់ជំនាញរបស់ខ្ញុំគឺព្យាបាលជំងឺគ្រប់វ័យពីកូនងាដល់មនុស្សចាស់ទាំងប្រុសទាំងស្រីកន្លែងយើងខ្ញុំស្អាតមានប្រដាប់ប្រដាទំនើបព្រមទាំងមានកន្លែងក្មេងលេងផងយើងខ្ញុំទទួលយក insurance គ្រប់មុខដូចជា Medical, Medicare និង HMOs នាងខ្ញុំសូមស្វាគមន៍និងរងចាំទទួលលោកនិងលោកស្រីនិងបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាគ្រប់ពេលវេលាពីថ្ងៃច័ន្ទរហូតដល់ថ្ងៃសុក្រពីម៉ោង9ដល់ម៉ោង5សូមតាក់ទងនឹងលេខទូរស័ព្ទ562 591 68 90ហើយអាសយដ្ឋានរបស់យើងខ្ញុំគឺ817 Atlantic Avenue នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach យើងខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណហើយសូមជម្រាបលា
ជំរាបសួរខ្ញុំបាទឈ្មោះ Jimmy ជាអ្នកគ្រប់គ្រងក្រុមហ៊ុន Seal Real Estate ព្រមទាំង Pacific Seal Mortgage ខ្ញុំបាទមានការដកពិសោធន៍ជាង10ឆ្នាំក្នុងការជួយអស់លោកដើម្បីទិញគេហដ្ឋានលក់គេហដ្ឋានព្រមទាំងចៃប្រាក់ដើម្បីទិញផ្ទះរបស់អស់លោកនាយកដ្ឋានប្រាក់កម្ចីផ្ដល់នៅកម្មវិធីខ្ចីលុយដូចជា Conventional Loan, FHA, VA, State Income និង Down Payment Assistanceសម្រាប់សហគមន៍ខ្មែរបើសិនណាជាអស់លោកត្រូវការលក់ផ្ទះយើងខ្ញុំមានតម្លៃពិសេសជូនសូមអស់លោកមេត្តាទូរស័ព្ទមកយើងខ្ញុំ714 622 4735សូមអរគុណ
I get an applause before I even do anything. There will be no rapping, guys. My name is Pratch. I am the co-director of the Cambodia Town Film Festival. I am also the co-founder. I know you want to get on with the movie, but I want to introduce a beautiful soul, a beautiful woman that has worked in the community, and she has gone above and beyond to help the Cambodian community, not just in Long Beach, but abroad in the United States. And she is a representative of Senator Laura Suli. Can you come up and say a few words?
A very nice introduction, Raj. So I'm here today on behalf of Senator Ricardo Lara because we actually have a bill in the state of California related to elephants. It's a bill called SB 1062, which is to prohibit the use of bullhooks on elephants. And it was recently signed by the governor. And so we're really excited that it's passed because it's of protecting elephants and making sure that they're treated humanely, and that to the Cambodian community, the culture, they're sacred animals and shouldn't be mistreated, which connects back to the film that you're going to watch today, which is why I'm here and very honored to introduce the film to you all, and of the last of the Elephant Men, where it follows the last of the few people who are attempting to save the animal. And so it's my honor to share on behalf of Senator Lara how much he supports this film because he will be visiting Southeast Asia in the near future to visit elephant sanctuaries in the area as well. So I also want to make a last plug about how there's a special permit this weekend to be able to buy wine and beer, so please support the film festival. And drink on my behalf because, I'm missing it. So enjoy the film.
និយាយរូបខ្ញុំតែពីតូចបត់ចម្រៀងពីដើមដែរដូចខ្ញុំគេយកសពផ្លែពេលនោះខ្ញុំចង់ខ្លាចអ្នកចម្រៀងណា ជួបជនជាតិបរទេសគាត់បង្កើតជាក្រុមភ្លេងមួយ Cambodia Space Project នេះ
It was like discovering a Southeast Asian Amy Winehouse. Later, I wondered to what level would a semi-literate farm go, or how far that talent would go.
ពេលដែលខ្ញុំច្រៀងខ្ញុំដូចបានហាក់ដាច់សេរីចឹងឆ្នាំបទចម្រៀងខ្មែរពីដើមព្រោះខ្ញុំគិតថាចម្រៀងធ្វើឲ្យមនុស្សទុកកង្វល់គឺបំបត្តិឲ្យអស់
Hello everyone. How do you like the movie? My name is Prash. I think I said that enough during this festival. I am the co-director and co-founder of the Cambodia Town Film Festival. The Cambodia Space Project, they're going to be here, I think, in another week or so for the Music Tastes Good concert in downtown Long Beach. Have you guys heard of that? Music Tastes Good? Yeah, look it up. It's called Music Tastes Good, and they're expecting about maybe 20,000 people in downtown Long Beach. Yes, so go check that out. And they're one of the lineup. The Cambodia Space Project, they are part of the lineup, and yeah. So is Oral here? Oral, can we get Oral up here? Come up here. He's with the Khmer Music Archive, and he was also the subject of the film. Nothing's Bigger Than Love. So we're gonna discuss a little bit about where Cambodian music has been and where Cambodian music is going to. Besides being, you can sit down. Yeah. So besides being in film, I'm also a musician. And when I saw the documentary, I'm like, I totally understand when they were going on tour. Because in 2004, I went on a 24-state tour, and it was gruesome. It was just, walking, taking taxis, plane, train, automobile, ox cart, whatever it was. We had to get there. So, Oro, can you introduce yourself a bit?
Thank you. Hi, my name Umratan Odam. Our name is Oro, or another word called DJ Oro. I'm come from the way from Cambodia, but I just decided in Florida, and I made my way here to attend the film festival, and it's very excited to be here. And yeah, I'm thank you. My project that I'm doing right now is called Cambodian Vintage Music Archive, which is part of the preservation project, preserving Cambodian lost rock and roll and all types of music between 1950 to 1970s.
So I think you kind of got the background of like how Cambodian music was nearly destroyed because of the Khmer Rouge. Actually, the Khmer Rouge, they destroyed everything, and they tried to have a social cleansing. So I thank you for preserving that and looking for vinyls, because back in like the 80s, I ran into, or the 90s, I've heard some music, Cambodian music, and that's how I was kind of introduced to the Cambodian music, because my parents wouldn't talk about it. They were still traumatized by the war. But then I started hearing these new like remade sounds, remade music. It was in karaoke's. And I thought they were like original songs until I started hearing these classic songs, these unmastered songs. And I started really appreciating, I started loving the sound, like with Sensi Samot and Tangon and so on and so forth. But where do you think the future of Cambodian music is going?
Thank you. Back in the 1960s and 70s, actually there's a lot of talented artists who can write, compose, and we have like the greatest singers. Their voice is so beautiful, like Cindy Samut Penron, Ruksare Sati, and other artists around that generation. After the evacuation of Vietnamese from Khmer Rouge, we lost a lot of artists, and some of the survival artists who some of them fled to abroad, and some of them still living in Cambodia. But the government like started to reconstruct the economy, but not really put much attention to the music. And till right now, between 1980 to 90s, music was not that coming back to rock and roll, because people are trying to compose and produce different songs. So right now I can see the future of music, since I work with Sinti Samut Association back in Phnom Penh. I collect original masters like records and tapes, and I help the families to gain their copyright back. Right now they have more than 150 songs that they gain copyright from the government. Yeah. And then it inspires artists to start to write their own songs. So there are some composers and musicians that are passionate about that, and they are inspired by Samut and other master musicians back in the 60s, and they started to write their own songs. So a kind of like Julian said in the film, the Cambodian Space Project leader said, like, when you work in the music, it's just like you have nothing at the end, because they are doing it because they're happy, they happen to like it. But in terms of making money out of that business, it's not really big. So basically, people who are writing music in Cambodia right now, they're just making nothing but just to promote music, promote culture, so that people can know how to write the songs, write music. So it's really challenging right now. But for me, I have like a lot of artists in network who are like throughout my project. So we build like alliance and network, and I encourage them to continue writing music, although that's not going to make a lot of money. But then at least our culture is there, so we should have somebody carry on that work. Like me, without my project, I think we had never have a chance to listen to original songs. Like you already watched the film that this first screen, right? My project. So basically, I went from place to place searching for lost music, searching for original master, or at least a copy of single, so that I can restore the music so people can have access to that platform. The music that I posted online, like YouTube and video or on Facebook. So it's also like Dengue Fever or Cambodian Space Project, they seek me as a consultant, like advisor on music. And also Nate from Lowell, I think you already watched that. So Nate and I, we work together. Nate, the co-founder of my project. So we both, Nate from Lowell, he worked in the United States, like collecting, making friends with all network in the States. And for me, my job is to search for collectors and materials in Cambodia. So we divided our work, and like many documentary, like Don't Think I Have Forgotten, the new film that already I think is it's still producing, still editing. It's called Invisible Cambodia. It's a documentary. It's about Sinti biography by Chris, but I don't know. It's called Barang Film, but I don't know when it's going to release. But it's going to take like a little bit more time. So they all like work together. So we are promoting music. We promoting classical, pop, rock. So this kind of work that we've been working together with all artists around the world, in hope that we can build stronger understanding of cultures and music.
See how powerful I am? I just think and let sounds come out.
I mean, if you have any question, I'm happy to answer any types of questions, and yeah, I'm here just to enjoy that too.
តើលោកអ្នកត្រូវការមេធាវីឬតើក្រដាសស្នាមបន្តប្រវេសរបស់លោកអ្នកត្រូវបានគេច្រានចោលឬអ្នកកំពុងមានបញ្ហាក្នុងការធានាគ្រួសារប្តីប្រពន្ធឬគូដណ្ដឹងការិយាល័យមេធាវីវេត្រាតានអាចជួយលោកអ្នកបានយើងខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍បម្រើសហគមន៍ខ្មែរជាង16ឆ្នាំមកហើយដោយភាពស្មោះត្រង់និងម៉ត់ចត់យើងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញក្នុងការដោះស្រាយករណីពិបាកជាមួយស្ថានទូតអាមេរិកនៅកម្ពុជាយើងទទួលបានភាពជោគជ័យជាច្រើនហើយបើលោកអ្នកមានបញ្ហាខ្សែធនលះលែងគ្នាឬគ្រោះថ្នាក់ដួលរបួសដែលត្រូវការមេធាវីដោះស្រាយទំនាក់ទំនងយើងឥឡូវនេះដើម្បីទទួលបានការប្រឹក្សាដោយឥតគិតថ្លៃទូរស័ព្ទឥឡូវនេះ562 218 2400
ហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំមានលក់គ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់ម៉ូដថ្មីទាន់សម័យដូចជាខ្សែកខ្សែដៃក្រវិលចិញ្ចៀននិងបន្តោងជាពិសេសខ្សែកមាសមកពីអ៊ីតាលីនិងសិង្ហបុរីហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំមានទទួលទិញចូលមាស 14K 18K 24K មានទទួលធ្វើនិងជួសជុលនៅគ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់មុខបានរហ័សទាន់ចិត្តហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំបានបើកបម្រើអស់លោកជាច្រើនឆ្នាំមកហើយធានាគុណភាពល្អនិងស្វាគមន៍អស់លោកជាប់ជានិច្ចហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំស្ថិតនៅលើផ្លូវ9200 Boza Avenue បន្ទប់លេខ212នៅ Westminster California ទូរស័ព្ទលេខ714 891 0500ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំនៅក្នុង Agent Garden Mall ជាន់ទី2ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំសម្រាប់នៅថ្ងៃពុធហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណអស់លោកទុកជាមុនសូមអរគុណ
I just want to add also, we have a talented young man that came from the Bay Area. RJ is in the theater. They drove all the way from the Bay Area to be here. And he's also a musician. He sings, he raps. Very talented guy. He also does a lot of community work as well. So there's a lot of Cambodian musicians out there, like Laura Mam, also from the Bay Area. She's now living in Cambodia. Dengue Fever, they're very popular. Go out there and explore different type of music, try to understand it and see for what it is. I think we do have a bright future for Cambodian music because of people like you, you're collecting and also you're sharing and not just keeping it to yourself. You're sharing it to the public and you're sharing it to the next generation. I'm going to open up to some Q&A. Anybody in the red?
Did you find any tape masters that you could actually play? And where were they? How did they survive?
Yes, throughout some private collectors, I met a few of them who own the reel-to-reel. It's hard sometimes to identify is the original master or not because during the 60s and 70s, the music business they have many stages. For instance, when you record music, you record it to the big tape, and then it transfers to vinyl. So sometimes many songs have been recorded because technology is not the same like today. So they record it many times. Sometimes one song they took like a day. So they make recording like a lot. So sometimes we pick up like the real one, real to real, but not the one that they put on vinyl. So it's a lot of work that we identify like which one is. Sometimes there's many versions because they recorded like one song but maybe 10 tracks of just the same song. So basically the recording we found mostly in Battambang because where is the private collectors' home is. And we have several materials that some of them has been taken with the refugees along the border Thailand during 80s. So some of the material was taken with them to US. So we kind of like spread out like it's hard to meet all different collectors because some of them keep as private items or heritage. So for me, some of them playable, some of them are not. But we have been restoring some of the materials, which is not that great. But at least we can just digitalize that material, so at least we can hear these songs.
I have a question for you real quick because I saw the documentary and you literally put the vinyls in a safe. Is it worth that much to you more than gold that you actually put it in a safe where you like literally a vault safe?
Thank you for the question. Yeah, because you saw the film that like I keep my records on the same spot because to me it's a good line. Like it's hard to find them, and I know that it's not the best place to keep it, but at least in Cambodia I got no choice because the humidity is high, and I don't have air conditions to store them properly. But right now all record is here with me in the US, so we have like a proper place to keep it with air control, so it's not gonna destroy the material. But during I went back to Cambodia, I lived in Costa Rica before, and I went back to Cambodia like 4 years, and I started looking for records. So in 4 years, I collect more than 100 records right now, and I brought them with me, so I store them properly in my house in Tampa Bay.
What's your address? Any more questions?
I think it's really wonderful what you're doing in terms of restoring the music and preserving the music, and wanting to also ask if you see any connection to what happened during World War II to the Jews and how the Nazis destroyed Jewish culture. And we're still looking for a lot of what we've lost. And the issue that I see a cross-cultural phenomenon of like the older generations cannot talk about what happened with the younger ones. And maybe that there's a healing piece there with you being able to preserve the music and communicate about it. So I thought, well, maybe you could address that a little bit.
Yeah, like the question is kind of like broad, but it's from experience. I think this job is not like only my passion, but also I think it is a way of looking back at the past because I born in the 80s, so I don't really know so much about what was happening before that. So it's also helped me to look back to the history of my country and my culture, and I heard a lot from older generations about seeing the time in the 60s, how wonderful it was, and how great music, how movie was made. But during the Khmer Rouge, they tried to abolish all cultures and try to start from year zero. So it lost a lot. We lost a lot of things, just not only the music, but also a lot of things, cultures, everything is gone, almost wiped away. So right now, every individual Cambodian here or anywhere in the world to have Cambodian blood, they have an obligation to discover their identity, discover their culture. So I think it's part of the preservation project is beyond it, because when you try to identify your culture, what do you think, which is your identity? Music, costume, what, or language? So it's part of a way that bring people to think about, oh, maybe I can look at the music, because music might brought me into a kind of very interesting subject, and I can explore my country based on music. So basically, the film of Alice of Cambodia is about Cambodian American who born here without knowing the cultures and discover their home by music. So it's kind of a work that we are right now doing, and I hope that individuals try to not forget about Cambodian culture because it's so important, and we are Cambodian.
សូមស្វាគមន៍មកក្រុមហ៊ុន Allstate ជំរាបសួរនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះនេរ៉ាធី Allstate ជាក្រុមហ៊ុនធានារ៉ាប់រងដ៏ធំមួយនៅក្នុងសហរដ្ឋអាមេរិក យើងធានារ៉ាប់រងផ្ទះ ឡាន ម៉ូតូ ក្រុមហ៊ុន និងជីវិត ហើយក៏ជួយសន្សំប្រាក់ដើម្បីចូលនិវត្តន៍ ឬសម្រាប់អ្វីផ្សេងទៀត មិនតែប៉ុណ្ណោះនាងខ្ញុំក៏អាចជួយលក់ផ្ទះទិញផ្ទះជូនបងប្អូនដែរ នាងខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍ជាច្រើនឆ្នាំមកហើយក៏មានការជួយបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងជាច្រើនមកដែរប្រសិនបើលោកអ្នកមានចម្ងល់ពីប្រការណាមួយសូមអញ្ជើញទូរស័ព្ទនាងខ្ញុំតាមលេខ 562 699 7858 សូមកុំភ្លេចទូរស័ព្ទលេខ 562 699 7858 លោកអ្នកនឹងបានទទួលនៅក្តីពេញចិត្ត ជំរាបលា
ជំរាបសួរនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះ Dr. Christina Lee នាងខ្ញុំជាវេជ្ជបណ្ឌិតខ្មែរមួយរូបដែលមានការដោតពិសោធន៍ក្នុងការព្យាបាលជំងឺទូទៅប្រចាំគ្រួសារអស់រយៈពេលជាង20ឆ្នាំមកហើយចាឥឡូវនេះខ្ញុំបានមកបើក clinic នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach ការស្ទាត់ជំនាញរបស់ខ្ញុំគឺព្យាបាលជំងឺគ្រប់វ័យពីកូនងាដល់មនុស្សចាស់ទាំងប្រុសទាំងស្រីកន្លែងយើងខ្ញុំស្អាតមានប្រដាប់ប្រដាទំនើបព្រមទាំងមានកន្លែងក្មេងលេងផងយើងខ្ញុំទទួលយក insurance គ្រប់មុខដូចជា Medical, Medicare និង HMOs នាងខ្ញុំសូមស្វាគមន៍និងរងចាំទទួលលោកនិងលោកស្រីនិងបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាគ្រប់ពេលវេលាពីថ្ងៃច័ន្ទរហូតដល់ថ្ងៃសុក្រពីម៉ោង9ដល់ម៉ោង5សូមតាក់ទងនឹងលេខទូរស័ព្ទ562 591 68 90ហើយអាសយដ្ឋានរបស់យើងខ្ញុំគឺ817 Atlantic Avenue នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach យើងខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណហើយសូមជម្រាបលា
Hi, my name is Gannery, and I wanted to know, would you consider having classes or workshops where you show and educate people about the music and how to listen for things and how to look out for certain things from your own experience of collecting them?
Thank you very much. I did 2 times exhibition and workshop, one in Meta House in Phnom Penh, and the other one I did workshop with the Royal University students in Phnom Penh to educate about music, and it was a very fantastic experience. So I brought a lot of audience from different countries to attend the one I think it's 2 weeks exhibition. So we have music and we have display reports. For the upcoming exhibition in Chicago, it's a new project. So I'm going to organize with the Cambodian community there, called Cambodian Artists Association in Chicago, in Illinois, in spring next year. But also I have another small project here in California with a friend of mine that I know through Facebook. I'm going to see him Sunday tomorrow. We're going to discuss about what can we do here in California, in San Jose or somewhere, I don't know, but we're planning to do a hosted event like exhibition or some kind of arts performance or something like that. So hopefully you connect with Wong Brak, so maybe you can reach me through that. You also can follow up with me on the project on the Facebook page or website. Facebook.com/Cambodian Vintage Music Archive. I'm gonna announce through the Facebook, so hopefully next year we can do some events like that in California and in Chicago.
One more question. One more.
Okay. All right. So my name is Philip, and as Don was talking about his upcoming collaboration in California, I would be that guy. So I'm from Northern California, and I love to put on events Cambodian related, especially music related. So I'm going to be meeting with him tomorrow to talk about what we can do for next year. So we'll keep you updated on that. So my question is, music rights has I don't know how much it exists now in Cambodia. And a lot of our music has been downloaded, has been sampled, has been used in many things. But where does those rights, where does the funds, from the music goes to? So I've noticed also that on your YouTube page, I guess there's a link to buy the songs. So can you explain more about, how you feel about music rights, especially from, all the artists that, from the 60s and 70s, what is the direction that you wanted to go in?
Thank you. This is very complex actually. In terms of the copyrights, right now, we don't, in the 60s, and 70, I think they might have a deal, but we don't have a copyright law yet. The copyright is just like stipulated maybe in the 90s, like artists and author rights. So I don't know how it works during the 60s and 70s because we lost evidence, we lost we don't know anything, even the families of Sensissimo, they might think like maybe they sign a contract 2-3 months after the release song, or maybe the company, the record label will buy the songs. So nobody knows what's going on behind that. But in terms of registration to the copyright, it's a long process. So basically, my job was to look for evidence. So in order to become the song eligible for the copyright, you have to have 3 evidence. Can be a record label, can be who wrote the song, who composed the song, and we have a witness that say, oh, this person really did write their own songs. That's why we Sensissimo song more than 152 that get copyrights, actually more thousands of songs. But because we lost the evidence, so that's why we can only submit it about 150 songs, so that we secure that for them. For instance, my project is only self-funded, so we don't have any. We don't have we're putting out money. We have 3 persons like Nate, myself, and my partner Maya J. She's from Tampa Bay, and she's a sound engineer. So we work together to restore music. And the idea that we're working right now is to do fundraising and royalty for the families. So we have been thinking a lot with John Percy, the director of Don't Think I've Forgotten, how to make this happen, because right now we are thinking about helping the collectors, helping the survival families of artists. So it's hard to put, it's hard to keep paying our money. So our goal is to release music out there, and then we hope that number 1 is just to promote music, number 2 is to save, and number 3 is to raise funds for them. So I try to do a pilot project just to try to release some music, try to at least build our website or link people can buy song music, but I knew that because of the exploitation of the songs, people can download music for free or listen for free, or it's people copy and sharing all around social medias. So nobody gonna buy any songs, nobody gonna do anything, they don't really care. So this right now I'm doing the pilot project, try to see how many people would be interested to like do fundraising with me. So it's kind of like a very challenging work. So that's why my project is kind of like having a break, because we try to looking for a way to figure out how to make it work. Because right now we really need to have the families of artists.
Oro, thank you for doing what you're doing and keep on doing it. Also tomorrow, do not miss this performance. It's from 3 to 5. It's a world premiere of John Crosby's new film. It's a 30-minute short of the King. The title is called The King's Last Song, and it's kind of document how the former king, the former king said anew how his love and passion for arts, and also the classical dances and traditional arts. And also, after that, you have a 40-minute live performance by the Khmer Arts Academy. And if you've never seen any live performance by a traditional dancer, of Cambodian traditional dancers, do not miss this one, because I was here earlier this morning and I saw like 4 years, kids are 4 years old, and they're rehearsing and they're practicing just for that, just for the show tomorrow. So it's a live performance, never seen before performance, and they're going to be dressed up very beautifully. And if you want to see if you want to see the Cambodian culture live and in color, this is the time to do it. You can go and purchase tickets online for like $15, or you can purchase at the door for $20. And all the proceeds from that screening, we're giving it back to the Khmer Arts Academy. So please come and help, please come support, spread the word out, tell your friends, tweet, Facebook, whatever you need to do, get the word out, and please help support these kids. I mean, these kids are our future. We've been talking about our past, now this is the time to help support the kids that are our future. So please come out. Thank you for coming out. If you're gonna stay, go buy some more beer and wine and hang out. Thank you. Yeah.
ជំរាបសួរអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នានាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះចានីមកពីក្រុមហ៊ុនលក់ផ្ទះទិញផ្ទះ នាងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញខាងជួយរៀបចំក្រាស្នាមទិញផ្ទះលក់ផ្ទះនេះជាងរយៈពេល8ឆ្នាំមកហើយជាមួយគ្នានោះដែរនាងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញជួយរៀបចំក្រាស្នាមឲ្យបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងដែលគាត់មានចំណូល income បន្តិចបន្តួចដែលគាត់មាន credit មិនសូវល្អនិងដែលគាត់មានលុយដើមតិចតួចអញ្ចឹងនាងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញខាងជួយរៀបចំក្រាស្នាមនោះឲ្យបងប្អូនមានលទ្ធភាពអាចទិញផ្ទះដែរអញ្ចឹងនៅក្នុងនោះដែរបើសិនជាបងប្អូនមានចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍ឬមួយមានសំណួរដែលតាក់ទិននៅក្នុងការរៀបចំក្រាស្នាមទិញផ្ទះលក់ផ្ទះនេះអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាអាចតាក់ទងនាងខ្ញុំផ្ទាល់ដែលក្នុងនោះដែរនាងខ្ញុំមានoffice នៅចំកណ្ដាល Cambodia Town យើងនេះអញ្ចឹងនាងខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណនិងសង្ឃឹមថានឹងទទួលបានសំណួរតាក់ទិនក្នុងការរៀបចំក្រាស្នាមទិញផ្ទះលក់ផ្ទះនេះពីបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងដែលគាត់មានការគ្រប់គ្រងនាងខ្ញុំពីមុនមកនិងអ្នកដែលមិនទាន់គ្រប់គ្រងនាងខ្ញុំនៅឡើយអញ្ចឹងនាងខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណច្រើនសូមជម្រាបលាតើលោកអ្នកត្រូវការមេធាវីឬតើក្រាស្នាមបន្តប្រវេសរបស់លោកអ្នកត្រូវបានគេច្រានចោលឬអ្នកកំពុងមានបញ្ហាក្នុងការធានាគ្រួសារប្តីប្រពន្ធឬគូដណ្ដឹងការិយាល័យមេធាវីវេត្រាតានអាចជួយលោកអ្នកបានយើងខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍បម្រើសហគមន៍ខ្មែរជាង16ឆ្នាំមកហើយដោយភាពស្មោះត្រង់និងម៉ត់ចត់យើងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញក្នុងការដោះស្រាយករណីពិបាកជាមួយស្ថានទូតអាមេរិកនៅកម្ពុជាយើងទទួលបានភាពជោគជ័យជាច្រើនហើយបើលោកអ្នកមានបញ្ហាខ្សែធនលះលែងគ្នាឬគ្រោះថ្នាក់ដួលរបួសដែលត្រូវការមេធាវីដោះស្រាយទំនាក់ទំនងយើងឥឡូវនេះដើម្បីទទួលបានការប្រឹក្សាដោយឥតគិតថ្លៃទូរស័ព្ទឥឡូវនេះ562 218 2400ចង់រៀនឲ្យចប់ដូចគេដូចឯងបំណងក្តីស្រមៃរបស់ខ្ញុំគឺខ្ញុំចង់ធ្វើជាមេកន្ត្រៃពីព្រោះខ្ញុំចង់ឲ្យភូមិឃុំនាងខ្ញុំទទួលបានការអប់រំពីការស្លៀកសម្លៀកបំពាក់ដ៏ល្អផូរផង់របស់បុរសស្ត្រីនៅក្នុងភូមិខ្ញុំរាល់ថ្ងៃរូបខ្ញុំខិតខំសិក្សារៀនសូត្រឲ្យពូកែដើម្បីសម្រេចគោលបំណងក្តីស្រមៃរបស់ខ្ញុំគឺខ្ញុំចង់ធ្វើមេកានិកនិងអេឡិចត្រូនិកដើម្បីជួយភូមិឃុំនិងសង្គមជាតិឲ្យមានការរីកចម្រើនផ្នែកគ្រឿងចក្រខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាខ្ញុំនឹងសម្រេចគោលបំណងរបស់ខ្ញុំពេលខ្ញុំសម្រេចគោលបំណងរបស់ខ្ញុំនឹងបង្ហាត់បង្រៀនបងប្អូនឲ្យចេះស្ទាត់នៅវិជ្ជានេះមិនមានបានតែទុកមួយហ៎បាននៅទីណា
ការនៅគាត់ឈប់រៀនយើងឃើញថាឪពុកម្ដាយគាត់ធ្លាប់ធ្វើអីគាត់ធ្វើនឹងក្មេងចំនួនក្រោយនេះមានឱកាសស្រុកទេគេជឿនលឿនអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំខំជំរុញកូនខ្ញុំក្រែងលោមមានអនាគតធ្វើភ្លឺថ្វាងដូចគេចា
ខឹមតែប្តីចាំមើលអញងាប់ទៅណាងាប់ទៅប្តី
The one featured in the second documentary, which is the end of the beginning, and of course his kid, which so if you guys have questions about, feel free to ask it. I'm sure they'll be happy to answer. Also, can I get the producers, Jim Lee and Nancy Lee, of Soul of the Tai Tai, to the first documentary that we saw? I heard a bunch of you were crying during that documentary. Both documentaries, actually. So let's sit and have a conversation. So it's just going to be you, Nancy? fortunate enough to be kind of on a journey with, I guess, you in making this film because, as you know, Nancy is a really strong advocate for education. That particular documentary was made by an actual Cambodian student, correct?
Yes. My husband sponsored 10 Cambodian students to go study filmmaking in Dongseo University in Busan, South Korea. And the film was made by 2 of the students who graduated from the university, and they went back home, and that was their first film that they made after graduation. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible because it's their first time learning how to make a documentary and how to make a film. And I personally thought it was, the cinematography was really well done, and there was a strong narrative with the mother and the children. And someone was saying earlier when they stepped out, they were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that the children over there have to work this hard to get an education." And then it's right.
Yes, it's very. My daughter and I went to Cambodia last year towards the end of the film because Morn Vantai was the writer for it, one of the students, and Iam Titsaiha was the cinematographer. I can't say that word, don't laugh at me. But so towards the end of it, when they told us the process of the film, we wanted to experience firsthand of how those children, what they have to go through each morning, how they got to school. So my daughter and I went there to witness it, and it doesn't show the distance from their house. It's in the jungle. We walked 45 minutes to get to their house, and then walked back to the river, and took us about 15 to 20 minutes on a boat ride to the school. So they have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, eat breakfast, and then walk to the shore, and then catch a boat from there to the school. It's like, I have so much respect for them because what they have to go through to get education versus most children here take it for granted.
Yeah, and that's why I really think it's an important film to see, just to appreciate the education that we are receiving here. And yeah. So, what was the hardest part about making that documentary?
The hardest was deciding what we want to show in the film because the cinematographer has an idea of showing the poor side of the countryside, where the people are suffering. But Morn Vantai and my husband wants to show the beautiful side of the untouched nature, as you can see in the film. And so it was a little bit of challenge in the beginning, and then as the progress of it, we want to show the beautiful side, but then we learned that these parents were really concerned about furthering their kids' education, and it was a struggle there, so which is why we decided that to sponsor those children to move to Phnom Penh so that they could continue their education. Yes.
Very good. So I'm going to ask a follow-up question now. So this documentary, The End and Beginning, was made for PBS?
No, it was made for Channel News Asia.
Channel News Asia a couple of years ago. And when you showed me the film, I thought, wow, I'd never seen this film. And the thing that touched me the most is, obviously your mom's voice in the story. And even though we don't physically see her most of the time, the voice over just the story of her is kind of so captivating, and it's like I want to meet her. So tell me how hard it was to kind of be the subject and yet the storyteller at the same time.
Right. Well, thank you, Kaylee, for that question. It was made posthumously, right? So she had already passed away, and I had these tapes of her being interviewed by me for a story we'd written in the New York Times, and to be the subject, it's weird. I mean, even all of this came about because I was in Long Beach in 2009 to give a TED Talk, and that was the story of our family's escape. And she was there; she was still alive, And so within 6 months, she passed away. So somebody saw the TED Talk, decided that they could maybe work on a documentary based on that, and this is what came about after we went to Cambodia, went to Singapore, and then they filmed here in the U.S. But yeah, it's kind of like, she's gone, but yet every time I see this, she's still with us. So,
Yeah, I could definitely feel that while watching it, and I love the hope that you bring back at the end with your kids and stuff like that, and that's what really got me. So during making the film, were there anything new that you uncovered? Because it almost felt like an investigation in a way. Did anything unravel, or was the research already done beforehand, so you went to Cambodia knowing what it is that you wanted to do?
well, we'd written the script, and we weren't sure. I hadn't gone to some of these places, so I wasn't sure what we were going to find. Thankfully, a few years earlier with my mom, we went actually to parts in Vietnam to look at where our family had been. So it was, for those of you who were here yesterday about post-traumatic stress, I think it was good for her to go back to those places. For me, going back to these places, well, I couldn't remember anything, so it's just like recreating memories from a fresh slate. Being told these things from my late mother, but never having seen Persat province or the area where Break was supposedly. But I think it's, it's like anything else. You in documentaries, you try to see what might happen, and then, of course, lots of different things happen. Very unpredictable things, and you go with the flow, and you might change it. Of course, the base of all this was those tapes. So how to make as much as possible out of them. And what did I discover? Well, I discovered things that I didn't even know. Like when I saw the ending for the first time of this documentary, I realized that she had said things, messages for myself and my siblings, for when the time would be that she'd be gone. So, so she says she's happy with us, she's satisfied. This is great, this is very peaceful. I think it's a gift that most children would, I think, love to have from their parents if possible.
It's great.
ហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំមានលក់គ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់ម៉ូដថ្មីទាន់សម័យដូចជាខ្សែកខ្សែដៃក្រវិលចិញ្ចៀននិងបន្តោងជាពិសេសខ្សែកមាសមកពីអ៊ីតាលីនិងសិង្ហបុរីហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំមានទទួលទិញចូលមាស 14K 18K 24K មានទទួលធ្វើនិងជួសជុលនៅគ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់មុខបានរហ័សទាន់ចិត្តហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំបានបើកបម្រើអស់លោកជាច្រើនឆ្នាំមកហើយធានាគុណភាពល្អនិងស្វាគមន៍អស់លោកជាប់ជានិច្ចហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំស្ថិតនៅលើផ្លូវ9200 Boza Avenue បន្ទប់លេខ212នៅ Westminster California ទូរស័ព្ទលេខ714 891 0500 ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំនៅក្នុង Agent Garden Mall ជាន់ទី2ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំសម្រាប់នៅថ្ងៃពុធហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណអស់លោកទុកជាមុនសូមអរគុណ
ជំរាបសួរអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នានាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះចានីមកពីក្រុមហ៊ុនលក់ផ្ទះទិញផ្ទះនាងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញខាងជួយរៀបចំក្រាស់ស្នាមទិញផ្ទះលក់ផ្ទះនេះជាងរយៈពេល8ឆ្នាំមកហើយជាមួយគ្នានោះដែរនាងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញជួយរៀបចំក្រាស់ស្នាមឲ្យបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងដែលគាត់មានចំណូល income បន្តិចបន្តួចដែលគាត់មាន credit មិនសូវល្អនិងដែលគាត់មានលុយដើមតិចតួចអញ្ចឹងនាងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញខាងជួយរៀបចំក្រាស់ស្នាមនោះឲ្យបងប្អូនមានលទ្ធភាពអាចទិញផ្ទះដែរអញ្ចឹងនៅក្នុងនោះដែរបើសិនជាបងប្អូនមានចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍ឬមួយមានសំណួរដែលតាក់ទិននៅក្នុងការរៀបចំក្រាស់ស្នាមទិញផ្ទះលក់ផ្ទះនេះអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាអាចតាក់ទងនាងខ្ញុំផ្ទាល់ដែលក្នុងនោះដែរនាងខ្ញុំមាន office នៅចំកណ្ដាល Cambodia Town យើងនេះអញ្ចឹងនាងខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណនិងសង្ឃឹមថានឹងទទួលបានសំណួរតាក់ទិននៅក្នុងការរៀបចំក្រាស់ស្នាមទិញផ្ទះលក់ផ្ទះនេះពីបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងដែលគាត់មានការគ្រប់គ្រងនាងខ្ញុំពីមុនមកនិងអ្នកដែលមិនទាន់គ្រប់គ្រងនាងខ្ញុំនៅឡើយអញ្ចឹងនាងខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណច្រើនសូមជម្រាបលា
I'm going to throw, I guess, some questions from the audience for the filmmakers because I think that, does anybody have any questions? Okay. Let's start with this gentleman here.
Oh, yeah, I actually have one for each of you. I noticed that the one mother was the only one who requested that she wanted a good education for her children, and the other mothers were more interested in, maybe, I don't want to say prosperity to the family. And so was that purposely done to suit the documentary, or is that kind of a Cambodian norm that maybe 1 out of every 10 mothers think of their children first, and 9 out of 10 think of prosperity for the family?
Actually, 10 students graduated from 6th grade, yes, and all of them wanted, concern was their children's education, but it's just that we have to narrow it down to make it a short film, so we didn't so much focus on the other families. And this family, they live the furthest of all. So I guess this family captured the filmmakers' hearts because they spent a few months there on that island. It's kind of an island, but not really an island. As you can see, you have to get everywhere by boat. And so the filmmakers really fell in love with this particular family, so they want to focus on that family. But out of the 10 children, 8 came to live at our center in Phnom Penh, and the other 2 went to Thai to work to support their family.
Thank you. And the other question I have now your mother, it was a very stressful time throughout much of what I saw in the documentary. Was there any time for your mother to give you like ice cream treats? Or is there anything to relieve that tension and pressure? Was there any pleasure that did you notice that your mother did for you while these kind of things were on?
Well, ice cream treats. I don't think there would have been any, given the conditions we were under, but I don't remember. But I would say, I think towards the end of the movie she talks about the Vietnamese giving us canned milk and her trying to feed me this canned milk so that, because I was already starving to death, so, somehow the more she'd give, the stronger I'd be, and as a result, the more likely I'd live. Of course, it backfired because it nearly killed me, but, these are the kinds of memories you take with you. It's from my mother telling me, that, I was like an Ethiopian starving baby, basically. These are refugee experiences. These are the experiences of people who've gone through a lot, and actually of a lot of people even in this room. So I would say just her being there. Yeah.
Her generosity, I think, was far greater than in the film.
Oh yeah, no, the film. Yeah, no, absolutely. The film can only capture those parts of whatever the audio recordings allow her to speak from the grave, essentially. And and even now, so Stephen was in the movie. He was a year and his unborn sister is here, and then the brothers, they're number 3, and then there's number 4. So we've been busy. We've been busy keeping Grandma's achievements going, and I think it's just he's getting his popcorn treat there. Thank you.
All right, there was a.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you both for your movies. We really enjoyed them. I wanted to ask, what would be your suggestions for recording my parents' in-laws' history and keeping those memories like you've done in your movie?
Well, the circumstances for my own recordings were that I needed them to write a story, but I would say be shamelessly, let's just say, don't ask for the waiver, don't ask for permission, just start recording. Because otherwise, they get conscious seeing the recorder, they get conscious seeing the camera, but this is the inheritance we can have. I mean, we don't have anything else. We just have those memories. And actually, you know, those tapes that ended up in the documentary, they were in a drawer for years. I didn't even know that I still had them. I could have easily gotten lost along the way. But boy, was I happy when I found them, and I certainly want to cherish them. So that's what remains at the end, right? These memories and these words spoken from the grave. So just record at will with abandon and try as much as possible to safeguard those recordings so that they can later on be listened to, be useful for your children and their children. And that's certainly what I hope for my kids to understand from the legacy of their grandmother, what she did to make their lives possible.
Just two more questions. Anybody else? I remember back there. It's you. It's you.
Oh, sorry.
It's you.
Sorry, I thought it was somebody else. I would like to congratulate to both of you, Paul and Nancy. That's an awesome film, and I was taught by, especially Nancy, music in the beginning. Like, Don, you make me cry right at the start. Having said that, what message would you like to share with the newer generation who has no knowledge or no prior history of Khmer culture? Because I think our culture has been lost for a very long time.
Come to CTN every year.
No, that was really a great answer. That's why I always make my kids join me every year. This is their 4th year. I would say, from my experience, what I do with my kids is that I bring them out to events. I volunteer a lot in the community, and I make sure they are involved as well. So both of my girls, ever since they were little, they're always out with me, volunteering at every Cambodian events, and then also bringing them back home so they could experience it firsthand rather than me just talking about it. Because when I tell them, you know, I used to walk 45 minutes every morning to school. And they're like, that was dinosaur time, you know? And so I was very happy to brought my younger daughter, who was 18 at the time, to walk through the jungle, through the swamp, and, you know, there may be anaconda in the mountains somewhere. And then, you know, she was whining and complaining, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die and it's gonna be all your fault. And I said, you know, I survived the war, you will too, this is not even the war. But then, you know, when we were coming back home, she didn't speak to me for days after making her go through the jungle to those families' house to see how they live and stuff. But then eventually, towards the end of our trip, she said she was happy that, you know, I made her go there. And she appreciated what I went through much more now, right, Summer? So I would say, yeah, you know, get them involved. Get them involved. Don't just talk about it. Get them to experience it, yeah.
Well, I would say, I think in the words of Crosby, Stills, Nash, teach your children well. I mean, for my own kids, I think of the story as a kind of family narrative. This is what, if they understand it as they grow up, it will allow them to be resilient in the face of maybe a bad grade or a relationship breakup or whatever it is that happens to young people, to all of us really, and to understand that actually it's not that big of a deal compared to what it took for them to come into this world. So I would say for the next generation, they need to understand that previous generations sacrificed tremendously for them, and as a result, you know, they need to put that in the context of their family's narrative and how far and just, you know, how little their current suffering will be compared to what their parents did and what their grandparents did. So it'll give them the strength to, I think, continue and to thrive instead of, fall into a situation where they think they've got to give up.
And here's to Grandpa, too.
All right, we're going to take one last question. Mono? Are you speaking for your wife or you?
Wife. So, first of all, I want to congratulate Kaylee and Praj and Cambodia Town Film Festival Committee for making this happen. Fourth year, right?
Yes.
All right. So, actually, I want to ask both of you questions, but so Nancy, those kids, when they were in the village, we interviewed them, right? I remember one of the kids, he wants to be mechanic, electrician. So now that they, at the big city, Phnom Penh, has their vision improved? I mean, like, do they want more than just being an electrician? Maybe they want to be like a prime ministers or generals. I mean, politician, doctor, lawyer, something great, bigger than that. How's the vision?
Well, so far, they've only been there a year in Phnom Penh, but their vision hasn't changed yet. Bun Lai is the one that wants to be the mechanic, the brother, and then Bun Mi, she wants to be a tailor or clothes designer, and she still wants that very much. And so we're trying to get them to intern with like an industry, whatever they are interested in. So Bun Mi goes to one of our staff has a family member who is a seamstress, so she goes and volunteer there. They don't have much time because, Cambodian goes to school 6 days a week. So they're occupied pretty much 6 days of a week. So the little time that they have, they go and try to intern in the different fields that they want. Out of those 8 children, Bun Mi and Bun Lai are siblings, and then the other 2 are siblings also. So there just comes from 6 families. Yeah.
Okay, great. Also, a lot of people don't know this, but the Young Foundation and the Summit Foundation did a tremendous job in helping the Cambodian, not just the Long Beach community, but also in Cambodia. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Also for Paul here, your story kind of like my story and my wife's story, right? Because my mom came here with no father. My father passed away during the Pol Pot time. What I noticed that your mom and my mom and her, my wife's grandmother, they had this strength, the real strong will. It's like anything for the children, right? So now that you have this story for your kid, how do you think they're going to take that when they get older? So right now, like the young one is in the movie, he probably didn't know what's going on with. How do you think happened when he in his teenage year and he studied all this stuff on film?
Stephen, do you want to answer? Well, I hope that they'll take it as part of their legacy and certainly not as a burden. We hope that that our kids will understand that Cambodia is part of their lives. They're born in California here, all of them. They haven't really had any suffering in their lives, but Cambodia is where their parents came from. My wife's father also passed away under really much more severe circumstances. He was killed. And that they need to understand that there's an origin story to our family and to the families of a lot of every Cambodian, every person out there, and so that they can take that as a continuation, and then with their children teach that as well, continuing on the work that began here. So that's all I hope. I hope they'll be, like my mother said in the movie, that that they will heed my advice and hopefully be good people and do what they can for the world.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I noticed a lot of the older generation, like the women, they would came in, most of them widows, like my mom, your mom, my wife, and also thank you for making my wife cry the entire time.
All right, let's give them a last round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us today.
ជំរាបសួរនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះ Dr. Christina Lee នាងខ្ញុំជាវេជ្ជបណ្ឌិតខ្មែរមួយរូបដែលមានការដោតពិសោធន៍ក្នុងការព្យាបាលជំងឺទូទៅប្រចាំគ្រួសារអស់រយៈពេលជាង20ឆ្នាំមកហើយចា៎ឥឡូវនេះខ្ញុំបានមកបើក clinic នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach ការស្ទាត់ជំនាញរបស់ខ្ញុំគឺព្យាបាលជំងឺគ្រប់វ័យពីកូនងាដល់មនុស្សចាស់ទាំងប្រុសទាំងស្រីកន្លែងយើងខ្ញុំស្អាតមានប្រដាប់ប្រដាទំនើបព្រមទាំងមានកន្លែងក្មេងលេងផងយើងខ្ញុំទទួលយក insurance គ្រប់មុខដូចជា Medical, Medicare និង HMOs នាងខ្ញុំសូមស្វាគមន៍និងរងចាំទទួលលោកនិងលោកស្រីនិងបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាគ្រប់ពេលវេលាពីថ្ងៃច័ន្ទរហូតដល់ថ្ងៃសុក្រពីម៉ោង9ដល់ម៉ោង5សូមតាក់ទងនឹងលេខទូរស័ព្ទ562 591 68 90ហើយអាសយដ្ឋានរបស់យើងខ្ញុំគឺ817 Atlantic Avenue នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach យើងខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណហើយសូមជម្រាបលា
សូមស្វាគមន៍មកក្រុមហ៊ុន Allstate ជំរាបសួរនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះនេរ៉ាធី Allstate ជាក្រុមហ៊ុនធានារ៉ាប់រងដ៏ធំមួយនៅក្នុងសហរដ្ឋអាមេរិកយើងធានារ៉ាប់រងផ្ទះឡានម៉ូតូក្រុមហ៊ុននិងជីវិតហើយក៏ជួយសន្សំប្រាក់ដើម្បីចូលនិវត្តន៍ឬសម្រាប់អ្វីផ្សេងទៀតមិនតែប៉ុណ្ណោះនាងខ្ញុំក៏អាចជួយលក់ផ្ទះទិញផ្ទះជូនបងប្អូនដែរនាងខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍ជាច្រើនឆ្នាំមកហើយក៏មានការជួយបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងជាច្រើនមកដែរប្រសិនបើលោកអ្នកមានចម្ងល់ពីប្រការណាមួយសូមអញ្ជើញទូរស័ព្ទនាងខ្ញុំតាមលេខ562 699 7858សូមកុំភ្លេចទូរស័ព្ទលេខ562 699 7858លោកអ្នកនឹងបានទទួលនៅក្តីពេញចិត្តជម្រាបលា
Another round of applause for Khmer Arts. Don't worry, it's not over yet. I was asked to do a quick raffle so they have time to change. So whoever purchased raffles, this is the one, the prize for the purchase one. Can I get the youngest or some of the students to come up here? One student to come up here? Why don't all of you come? Come on. So we have 2 raffles, but I have like 30 kids. I don't know what to do here, guys.
Rock, paper, scissors.
What do you suggest I do? I don't know what to do. The little, who's the littlest?
Closest to birthday.
Who's Audrey? Alright. Give a round of applause for Audrey. So if you want to take pictures, take pictures with them now. I'm gonna stand out the way. So Audrey, you ready to do this? You ready to give somebody a painting? An art painting? No? You want to keep it for yourself? We'll get you one. We'll get you one. Okay, so the first one, okay? Pull out any one you want. So this is the lucky person. I'm just, you want to just mess it around? Mess it around? So she's messing it around. They're messing it around so it's not rigged. Okay. All right. Okay, ready? Audrey, ready? All right, go for it. Pick one. Okay, who's the oldest? Okay. Who's the oldest out of the bunch? Okay, you read the number. Here.
4661606.
Say it slower.
4661606.
This is a lovely Apsara painting. Hold on, before you take it, we're going to verify the tickets. Can you check and see if this is the correct ticket? Match it up. Yes?
Yes.
Confirmed. Okay, who's the second youngest? Natalie? Okay, give me that. Give me this. Okay. Natalie? Your name is Natalie? How old are you, Natalie?
Hi.
Why did you want to dance?
Wait, that's part of the deal.
Why did you want to dance? You want to answer it? No? Here, you answer. Okay, why do you want to dance, and why is Khmer Arts Academy important to you? Why is this dancing important to you, and why is...
It's fun and you get to perform a lot.
Is there a question that you guys want to ask these kids? Just one question? Anybody? Hold on. Okay. How do you like the costume? Do you like the costume? Do you guys like what you wear?
Yeah!
Say it louder so they can hear. Okay. Natalie. Okay, you guys want to give it a spin? Give it a spin. Okay. All right. Natalie, pick one.
It's a cute picture.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
You guys can be together if you like.
4, 6, 6, 1, 6, 3, 9.
Do we have a winner? You got 2 seconds to come up here. No, don't run. I'm just kidding. Don't hurt yourself. You want to give them? Okay, hold on. Let's confirm the ticket first. Confirm the ticket. Don't get close to the edge. Be careful. Liability, guys. Who want to present this to him? Who want to give this to him? Okay. Come up here. You want to turn around? Okay, go back to your seats. Be careful. That way. Safety. Whoa, don't run. Walk.
តើលោកអ្នកត្រូវការមេធាវីឬតើក្រដាសស្នាមបន្តប្រវេសរបស់លោកអ្នកត្រូវបានគេច្រានចោលឬអ្នកកំពុងមានបញ្ហាក្នុងការធានាគ្រួសារប្តីប្រពន្ធឬគូដណ្ដឹងការិយាល័យមេធាវីវេត្រាតានអាចជួយលោកអ្នកបានយើងខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍បម្រើសហគមន៍ខ្មែរជាង16ឆ្នាំមកហើយដោយភាពស្មោះត្រង់និងម៉ត់ចត់យើងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញក្នុងការដោះស្រាយករណីពិបាកជាមួយស្ថានទូតអាមេរិកនៅកម្ពុជាយើងទទួលបានភាពជោគជ័យជាច្រើនហើយបើលោកអ្នកមានបញ្ហាខ្សែធនលះលែងគ្នាឬគ្រោះថ្នាក់ដួលរបួសដែលត្រូវការមេធាវីដោះស្រាយទំនាក់ទំនងយើងឥឡូវនេះដើម្បីទទួលបានការប្រឹក្សាដោយឥតគិតថ្លៃទូរស័ព្ទឥឡូវនេះ562 218 2400
ហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំមានលក់គ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់ម៉ូដថ្មីទាន់សម័យដូចជាខ្សែកខ្សែដៃក្រវិលចិញ្ចៀននិងបន្តោងជាពិសេសខ្សែកមាសមកពីអ៊ីតាលីនិងសិង្ហបុរីហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំមានទទួលទិញចូលមាស 14K 18K 24K មានទទួលធ្វើនិងជួសជុលនៅគ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់មុខបានរហ័សទាន់ចិត្តហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំបានបើកបម្រើអស់លោកជាច្រើនឆ្នាំមកហើយធានាគុណភាពល្អនិងស្វាគមន៍អស់លោកជាប់ជានិច្ចហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំស្ថិតនៅលើផ្លូវ9200 Boza Avenue បន្ទប់លេខ212នៅ Westminster California ទូរស័ព្ទលេខ714 891 0500ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំនៅក្នុង Agent Garden Mall ជាន់ទី2ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំសម្រាប់នៅថ្ងៃពុធហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណអស់លោកទុកជាមុនសូមអរគុណ
So you guys want to continue this? Can we get another round of applause? Get louder. Thank you.
Thank you. our managing director, Bong Sarai.
ជំរាបសួរខ្ញុំបាទឈ្មោះ Jimmy ជាអ្នកគ្រប់គ្រងក្រុមហ៊ុន Seal Real Estate ព្រមទាំង Pacific Seal Mortgage ខ្ញុំបាទមានការដកពិសោធន៍ជាង10ឆ្នាំក្នុងការជួយអស់លោកដើម្បីទិញគេហដ្ឋានលក់គេហដ្ឋានព្រមទាំងចៃប្រាក់ដើម្បីទិញផ្ទះរបស់អស់លោកនាយកដ្ឋានប្រាក់កម្ចីផ្ដល់នៅកម្មវិធីខ្ចីលុយដូចជា Conventional Loan FHA VA State Income និង Down Payment Assistance សម្រាប់សហគមន៍ខ្មែរបើសិនណាជាអស់លោកត្រូវការលក់ផ្ទះយើងខ្ញុំមានតម្លៃពិសេសជូនសូមអស់លោកមេត្តាទូរស័ព្ទមកយើងខ្ញុំ714 622 4735សូមអរគុណ
សូមស្វាគមន៍មកក្រុមហ៊ុន Allstate ជំរាបសួរនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះនេរ៉ាធី Allstate ជាក្រុមហ៊ុនធានារ៉ាប់រងដ៏ធំមួយនៅក្នុងសហរដ្ឋអាមេរិកយើងធានារ៉ាប់រងផ្ទះឡានម៉ូតូក្រុមហ៊ុននិងជីវិតហើយក៏ជួយសន្សំប្រាក់ដើម្បីចូលនិវត្តន៍ឬសម្រាប់អ្វីផ្សេងទៀតមិនតែប៉ុណ្ណោះនាងខ្ញុំក៏អាចជួយលក់ផ្ទះទិញផ្ទះជូនបងប្អូនដែរនាងខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍ជាច្រើនឆ្នាំមកហើយក៏មានការជួយបងប្អូនខ្មែរយើងជាច្រើនមកដែរប្រសិនបើលោកអ្នកមានចម្ងល់ពីប្រការណាមួយសូមអញ្ជើញទូរស័ព្ទនាងខ្ញុំតាមលេខ562 699 7858សូមកុំភ្លេចទូរស័ព្ទលេខ562 699 7858លោកអ្នកនឹងបានទទួលនូវក្តីពេញចិត្តជម្រាបលា
Hi, if you don't already know us, my name is Mia. My name is Ganya, and we are the instructors at Khmer Arts Academy. I really want to cry right now, but before I do that, I'd like to really thank you all for coming out and supporting our girls and really encouraging them and empowering them to continue to become dancers and live their heritage and culture. So during this moment, we're going to have a Q&A session with you all. So anyone who has questions for the young girls, question about the repertory, questions about the dances in the canon, please feel free to ask questions. Please feel free to ask our girls questions. And yeah, so taking any questions now. Where did that hand go? Any questions at all? Yes. Oh, so you weren't reading our introduction up on the board? You were reading the synopsis there then. No, it's okay. So, yes. We will explain our program. So today, Mia and I wanted to share with you the process in developing young students and dancers from beginning students to advanced students. And I hope you guys were able to see the progression in that. So we began with Rabam Bat Bat, right? Bat Bat is a dance that teaches the vocabulary of the gestures to our students. So in Cambodian classical dance, it's a gestural vocabulary. We're speaking to you with our hands, with our expression, with our toes, and it really represents the cycle of life. So for our students, beginning students, there's over 4,500, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, 4,500 hand gestures. And we teach 4 basic ones. and it represents the cycle of life. So girls, can someone stand up and teach the audience? Yeah? Go ahead. Take the mic. Okay, go ahead. Okay, awesome.
My name is Melania, and I'm 10 years old. Can you please do this with me? The first gesture is a tree. The tree grows and it grows leaves, and then it has a flower bud. Then it grows fruit, and then it drops and it makes another tree. And that's the cycle of life.
In Quackbat, the full version is actually 45 minutes long. So your early years of becoming a dancer, that's all you're learning, the full 45 minutes, and you're chanting if you don't have an orchestra to play music for you. So that's why you heard them chanting earlier, and that's for their beat. And that's how we teach them how to listen to the beat and dance.
So for you, I'm going to continue with the program answer, okay? Okay, so our next dance after that was Rabambo Palo Gay, and that's, as you can see, is a beginning student's dance. And does any of you know the meaning of Bopalo Gay? What about my Bopalo Gay girls?
My name is Eliza.
Hi, Eliza.
I'm 6 years old. And flower. The world. Flowers of the world.
So this dance is actually one of the first dances you get to perform because of how basic it is, but it's very cute, wasn't it? Yeah. So the next dance was Apsara. Oh, sorry, Vanessa did the I skipped my own dance. So after you learn Magma, Manosa Chetana is a dance where you learn expressions. So in the beginning, you see a beautiful princess walking in a garden, looking at her flowers, and then all of a sudden, a prince enters. He just so happens to be there too. And he sees her, he opens, let's say, a bush, some trees, and ooh, there's a beautiful princess there. And they fall in love, and they flirt. Did you guys see the flirting? Was I a good flirter? Yeah. So I often got rejected, right, when I was trying to touch her legs. Okay. So, and then at the end, for whatever reason, I think this is a secret, they didn't tell us, but they had to part. And that's when you see the sad gesture. And the princess has to leave. And the prince leaves, and that's just life, right? So you learn in this dance, you learn to love, and you learn sadness. Okay?
Adding on to what Mia said, it's very important to know not only song, understand the song, like Eliza learned Bopa, and Moke means flower and world, right? So in expressing yourself and finding yourself as a dancer, you really have to embody the character before you can move on to any other advanced dances and execute them well. So the next dance was Rabam Apsara. Would any of you like to debrief my beautiful Apsaras? Yeah? Victoria? I volunteer you.
Hello, I'm Victoria, I'm 14. Obama Apsara is a dance where Apsara is the mother of Cambodia, and she comes and we come up from stone. We wake up from stone.
So we chose the dance Apsara for this program because everyone knows who Apsara is, or what an Apsara is, and you do see this dance performed a lot. So this is one of the more popular dances in the repertoire, and it was created in the 1960s by Queen Gosamaknadi Lawat. Okay, so she has a beautiful long name. And then this dance briefly represents us. Sabrina in white, she's Mera, and she's believed to be the mother of Cambodia. So the myth is this hermit named Gampu meets Mera, and that's how they become. So they become Gampu Mera, but we know it as Gampu Chia, right? Of Gampu, who is our father.
So that dance has a lot of history to it. The next dance that we perform for you is not from the traditional dance canon. Nikruso Pauline Chiam Shapiro, she's actually the founder of Khmer Arts Academy here in Long Beach. She's our artistic director. We also have an ensemble in Cambodia who performs internationally. She created a piece where it explores the theory of culture shock. So coming from Cambodia, as an artist, as a dancer, she started to play with dance and explore the theory of culture shock, euphoria, rejection, adjustment, and equilibrium. And so today we perform for you the last piece, which was equilibrium, Parihara, and it just shows you balance. Those in blue represent Vishnu, and then those in red represent Shiva. Sorry, I just want to be clear. Together they become Harihara and create a balance.
ជំរាបសួរនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះ Dr. Christina Lee នាងខ្ញុំជាវេជ្ជបណ្ឌិតខ្មែរមួយរូបដែលមានការដោតពិសោធន៍ក្នុងការព្យាបាលជំងឺទូទៅប្រចាំគ្រួសារអស់រយៈពេលជាង20ឆ្នាំមកហើយចាឥឡូវនេះខ្ញុំបានមកបើក clinic នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach ការស្ទាត់ជំនាញរបស់ខ្ញុំគឺព្យាបាលជំងឺគ្រប់វ័យពីកូនងាដល់មនុស្សចាស់ទាំងប្រុសទាំងស្រីកន្លែងយើងខ្ញុំស្អាតមានប្រដាប់ប្រដាទំនើបព្រមទាំងមានកន្លែងក្មេងលេងផងយើងខ្ញុំទទួលយក insurance គ្រប់មុខដូចជា medical, Medicare និង HMOs នាងខ្ញុំសូមស្វាគមន៍និងរងចាំទទួលលោកនិងលោកស្រីនិងបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាគ្រប់ពេលវេលាពីថ្ងៃច័ន្ទរហូតដល់ថ្ងៃសុក្រពីម៉ោង 9 ដល់ម៉ោង 5 សូមតាក់ទងនឹងលេខទូរស័ព្ទ 562 591 68 90 ហើយអាសយដ្ឋានរបស់យើងខ្ញុំគឺ 817 Atlantic Avenue នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach យើងខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណហើយសូមជម្រាបលា
ហាងមេភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំ មានលក់គ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់ម៉ូដថ្មីទាន់សម័យដូចជាខ្សែកខ្សែដៃក្រវិលចិញ្ចៀននិងបន្តោងជាពិសេសខ្សែកមាសមកពីអ៊ីតាលីនិងសិង្ហបុរីហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំមានទទួលទិញចូលមាស 14K 18K 24K មានទទួលធ្វើនិងជួសជុលនៅគ្រឿងអលង្ការគ្រប់មុខបានរហ័សទាន់ចិត្តហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំបានបើកបម្រើអស់លោកជាច្រើនឆ្នាំមកហើយធានាគុណភាពល្អនិងស្វាគមន៍អស់លោកជាប់ជានិច្ចហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំស្ថិតនៅលើផ្លូវ9200 Boza Avenue បន្ទប់លេខ212នៅ Westminster California ទូរស័ព្ទលេខ714 891 0500ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំនៅក្នុង Asian Garden Mall ជាន់ទី2ហាងមាសយើងខ្ញុំសម្រាប់នៅថ្ងៃពុធហាងមាសភ្នំពេញយើងខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណអស់លោកទុកជាមុនសូមអរគុណ
Any other questions for us or the kids? Yes.
First of all, I just want to say how proud we are of you and what a wonderful performance this was. I heard you talk about your girls, but are there no boys in the troupe?
Chakra, can you stand up for me, please? Angela, can you stand up for me? Thank you. We've always got to acknowledge our boys. They're amazing, and the amount of work they dedicate themselves to with us and the commitment they have is really inspiring. Any other questions? Any questions? No. Oh. Sorry, we can't see through these lights. This is the last question we'll take.
Okay. For the last dance, I noticed I guess that one dancer would be holding on to the back of the other dancers. And also, at the end, all four holding on to each other. Can you go into more detail about what that means?
So, there are two different gods that are being represented, but they come together as one and they dance and are one entity. And through the holding, usually a gesture would be, a full gesture would be this, right? So because you have two people that you're combining into one embodiment, that's where they are joined. They are joined and complete. Do you understand? Yeah? Great. Yeah,
So like Kanya was saying earlier, this dance is all about balance. At the end, when we were all holding each other, that's just, it also represents balance, but it's a cool artistic touch that Nekru so putting added in herself. Didn't that look cool? Yeah. That's my favorite part of the dance. That's why. And then if you want to learn more about Khmer Arts, you can go to our page, khmerarts.org. We're all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, even Snapchat now. Yes. Well, one, by coming to our performances, and two, of course, by donating, because we are a nonprofit org, so you know how that goes.
Also, it would be great if, the community just comes out and supports our children during performances, during events, during community events like the Cambodia Town Film Festival. It's such an honor to be here. And to be given the opportunity to have a 40-minute show, the stage, dance, and share it with you, that's an honor. And it just supporting us through coming to the shows and really empowering these young children because they are the future. Are you guys the future? Yeah, you guys are the future. Yeah. Thank you once again to CTFF, Wong Prash, Wong Kaylee. Thank you so much for having us. And all of the volunteers who have been running their heads wild just like we were back there. Everyone, volunteers, staff, everyone. And thank you guys in the audience for coming out. We're gonna do one last raffle, okay? So I'm gonna put the bucket. Wait, the little one's already picked, so I'm gonna let the big ones pick, okay? Yeah, big kids.
Let me tell you what you're winning. So this is who is also a guardian in heaven. So what you're supposed to do with him is hang it behind or on your door, and he's going to protect you. Okay. How are you guys doing? Good? Okay, this number is 4661654.
Can you say that in Khmer?
And that was actually donated by our own classmate and wonderful friend Jack Moen. Awesome. And lastly, we just wanted to thank.
Can we have Bong Sarai take on stage? This woman means the world to me. So I have recently been invited to teach here at Fine Arts. It's been a year, so everything you saw today was all my hard work with Nignumiya and with Bong Sarai. She's been our managing director. She's been in my life for 10 years, and she's gonna be moving to Chicago, so she won't be here with our organization anymore. She's so vital to our organization. She's the heart and soul of our organization, and we just wanted to really thank you from the bottom of our hearts for growing us as young Cambodian American women and showing us that Khmer is beautiful. Thank you for showing me that.
Thank you all for coming today. It really means a lot. I was just expecting like maybe half of this theater half full, but you know, we pushed really, really hard. We try to make our academy very visible to our fans, to our supporters, and when everybody's here, it just means a lot to me. And giving these girls the position, I trust them that they can take care of the space. In order for me to leave, I know that they have to grow, and this is one way that they will grow to share this legacy, to continue this legacy. And I will be back just to check on. But really, it really means a lot that everybody here and everybody around the world, please keep encouraging these girls. Be the spirits, be the encouragement, be the lights for these girls to continue on for our Khmer dancers to continue our dance. Thank you so much.
Can you stand up and give them a round of applause? Can everyone stand up and give them a round of applause?
Tao លោកអ្នកត្រូវការមេធាវីឬតើក្រដាសស្នាមបន្តប្រវេសរបស់លោកអ្នកត្រូវបានគេច្រានចោលឬអ្នកកំពុងមានបញ្ហាក្នុងការធានាគ្រួសារប្តីប្រពន្ធឬគូដណ្ដឹងការិយាល័យមេធាវីវេត្រាតានអាចជួយលោកអ្នកបានយើងខ្ញុំមានបទពិសោធន៍បម្រើសហគមន៍ខ្មែរជាង16ឆ្នាំមកហើយដោយភាពស្មោះត្រង់និងម៉ត់ចត់យើងខ្ញុំមានជំនាញក្នុងការដោះស្រាយករណីពិបាកជាមួយស្ថានទូតអាមេរិកនៅកម្ពុជាយើងទទួលបានភាពជោគជ័យជាច្រើនហើយបើលោកអ្នកមានបញ្ហាខ្សែធនលះលែងគ្នាឬគ្រោះថ្នាក់ដួលរបួសដែលត្រូវការមេធាវីដោះស្រាយទំនាក់ទំនងយើងឥឡូវនេះដើម្បីទទួលបានការប្រឹក្សាដោយឥតគិតថ្លៃទូរស័ព្ទឥឡូវនេះ562 218 2400
ជំរាបសួរខ្ញុំបាទឈ្មោះ Jimmy ជាអ្នកគ្រប់គ្រងក្រុមហ៊ុន Seal Real Estate ព្រមទាំង Pacific Seal Mortgage ខ្ញុំបាទមានការដកពិសោធន៍ជាង10ឆ្នាំក្នុងការជួយអស់លោកដើម្បីទិញគេហដ្ឋានលក់គេហដ្ឋានព្រមទាំងចៃប្រាក់ដើម្បីទិញផ្ទះរបស់អស់លោកនាយកដ្ឋានប្រាក់កម្ចីផ្ដល់នៅកម្មវិធីខ្ចីលុយដូចជា Conventional Loan, FHA, VA, State Income និង Down Payment Assistance សម្រាប់សហគមន៍ខ្មែរបើសិនណាជាអស់លោកត្រូវការលក់ផ្ទះយើងខ្ញុំមានតម្លៃពិសេសជូនសូមអស់លោកមេត្តាទូរស័ព្ទមកយើងខ្ញុំ714 622 4735សូមអរគុណ
How are you guys doing today?
Yeah? Let me clear something too. My name is Pratch Lee. Her name is Kay Lee. But her last name is So.
We're not married.
We're not married. I'm not that lucky, so. This idea of this film festival started like we just, you know, I was traveling around and I was seeing a lot of film being shown, and it didn't, like Cambodian films being shown that didn't have a proper platform. So they were showing it in libraries and schools and whatnot, and we feel like we needed a real theater and a real festival vibe and feel to it. So me and Katie kind of sat around and played with the idea, and now we're in our 4th year. So, thank you to all the filmmakers. You know, without the filmmakers, there wouldn't be a film festival. And thank you to all the people who attend. As you can see for the Khmer Arts Academy earlier today, we had a full house and we had like 30, 40 students here. It just brought tears to my eyes. But I'm just gonna, Katie, you want to say anything before we just start presenting stuff?
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys for coming to the award show. We're an awkward and strange and spontaneous and funky film festival. We call ourselves the smallest film festival with the biggest heart for a reason, because it's made up of all you guys who we feel are like our family. So give yourself a round of applause if you are a filmmaker, if you are a volunteer, if you were at the sarong party, if you were here watching girls all weekend. Give yourself a round of applause. And this is the first year that we've ever decided to do a karaoke award ceremony. So I don't know who came up with that concept, but we rolled with it. We're like, that's a great idea. And only a Cambodian person would be like, yeah, karaoke for an award ceremony. But here we are.
So okay, go ahead. You
want to go first?
I'll go first. The first award, I met this incredible man when I went to Ohio, and he was giving a lecture.
I'll give a lecture.
And I was mind blown by what he was saying, and not just that, but one of his lecture was at a TED Talk, and in the audience was Bill Gates. So Bill Gates came to his TED Talk, and his documentary is very optimistic. It's great to see, and if you haven't got a chance to see it, make sure you go see it again. Try to find ways to do so, and we'll put links on our website to how to purchase the DVD or get a hold of the filmmakers. So Paul, can you come up here, please? And this is for his film, The End and the Beginning. And not just that, but he's very supportive of the film festival. He got us grants to help with the festival. So, would you like to say a few words?
You know, it's a huge honor. Thank you for making this the 4th year of this event. It's been my pleasure to support through my trusteeship at the Nathan Cummings Foundation the work of this festival, and I hope to do it again next year. So thank you for the kind words. Really appreciate it. I thought you were going to talk about this person you met, who's going to be a partner. All right, thank you.
We also have a plaque for the Nathan Foundation. We can give that to you on your way out. So, thank you.
I thought you were telling the children to go back. I'm like, no, come on. Yeah, they were featured in the film. Yeah. There you go.
Nathan, you wanna go with Daddy? Go with Daddy. Come on.
Is there another one? He's
Got the white on? I'm on the white.
This one more. Well, where's your supportive wife? She was here all weekend.
She went to get number 4.
Oh.
She's not back. All right. You guys.
Right. You can hold on to one. So this next filmmaker, I met him in Cambodia in December or January of 2015, 2016, and we instantly fell in love, and we got married, and had, no, I'm just kidding. But it was,
Did you hear that, Sai? She has a mistress in Cambodia.
Yeah, sorry about that. I saw his film and I was like, wow, who is this guy? No, I actually got a great opportunity to see this next film in Cambodia when it opened at the Cambodia International Film Festival. And I remember meeting Hong, who was the subject of the film, and he said, Kaylee, I heard that you were the director of the Cambodia Film Festival, and we have a documentary, and I would love for you to come see it at this festival so that maybe you could travel to America. And I said, sure, I would love to go see this film. And I went to see this film, and I sat in the audience, and after watching it and bawling my eyes out at the end of it, I said, I have to have this film at our film festival because I think that everybody here would love it as well. And so, as soon as I told them that we were going to have the film in the film festival, they booked a flight right away to Cambodia town.
From Australia.
Yeah, from Australia.
Not Australia, Cambodia town, California.
Yeah.
Australia.
The one that says made a lot. But Andrew, come up here. Did you know we were married? Yeah. So yeah, this is the official Cambodia Town Film Festival official selection. We love having you here this weekend. We had an amazing conversation, and just welcome. If you want to say something.
Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you very much for allowing this to be in your festival. It's been a real honour, and on behalf of the filmmakers of Camp 32, myself, Tim, Gay, and especially Hom, we really want to thank you for just the warm welcome that you've given us here. And also to the committee members, thank you very much for considering our film, and all the volunteers who worked so hard over this weekend. Thank you all for doing such a wonderful job. It's been a terrific festival. I've really enjoyed myself. The sarong party was a blast. I love the sarong party. I'd love to come back just for that next year. Thank you all very much.
All right.
Also, I want to thank my partner Dom here. He's been a wonderful supporter of the film, and I couldn't have made the film without him, so thank you, Dom.
So we do have awards for the other films as well, but unfortunately they're not here. The filmmakers is not here. But again, CTFF would not be, this festival would not be complete.